Hey, welcome. It's time to start the show. This is Maniac One Show with your host, Maniac Tim, owner and founder of Detroit Lions on the Prowl, but more importantly, owner and founder of this channel, Tim's Maniac Sports. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We the new NFL season is here as far as getting the as far as getting free agency up and on the road right now. I mean, the free agency is going. Uh, Lions have did some things to bolster their defense. You know, something questionable, something hey, well, blah, But hey, there's been a lot of things. We no longer need to face, of course, Justin Fields in the NFC North as an NFC North opponent anymore. That's just the way things work out right now. Uh, by the way, links are posted in the chat to anybody who wants to hop on, say their piece. Hey, everybody's welcome. Just make sure if you guys come on, be respectful. I can understand, a little bit of swearing. If that's what you do, that's fine. But just kind of keep it to a minimum. Okay. I may say a cuss word every now and then too, and swearing doesn't really bother me that much. But just be respectful. Be respectful of the show. Be respectful of your people. But if you guys want to go on a rant about what you're feeling, by all means, go ahead and do that. This is Maniac Sports. This is not about this is not about. We don't want to keep this thing just timid. We don't want to do that. If you guys got some things that you got to get off your mind, go ahead and do it. If it's something your team did to go ahead and tick you off, if it's that guy that you didn't get, that you didn't trade for, that you thought that you know, would have got you to that point that you thought that your team should have been at, or didn't get that free agent, or if you let the player go, or if you went ahead and signed a bust, I'll tell you what, things are up in the air for Chicago now with Fields being gone. Hey, some of those quarterbacks don't always work out right off the off the start. Some do, some don't. So we don't know what's going to go on with if they get Caleb Williams or some other dude. We don't know what's going to go on. With the Bears. So hey, if it doesn't work out, for you Bears fans, there's gonna be a lot of ticked off people, a lot of ticked off fans, and not that you guys don't have the right to be, because you guys do, because the Bears have went through a lot. Bears fans have went not near half as much as Lions fans have been. The Lions fans have been through misery, barring just a few years of couple years now and then, really going ahead and actually finally getting to a point where you feel like you can contend. Yes, we had some of that before in the past with the Fonz era, and before that you need to go way the hell back, to before the NFL was was your merged with with AFL to create the Super Bowl. So but right now the Lions are relevant. And there's been a lot of knock on Brad Holmes, a lot of knock on especially Brad Holmes and the organization, as far as not going after that clutch free agent that will that um, will put in the final nail in our opponent's coffin. That's what I mean. There's been some, yeah. Hey, how's it going? How's it going, Detroit fan man? What what you been doing? Yeah, I was live real late last night. Actually, real this morning. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. I do like DJ Ryder. I think that I don't know. I think he's going to be the one as long as he stays healthy. I think he's going to be the one that boasts the that's going to really boast up the that defensive line and the defensive pressure, and also help take away some of those that double, because they're going to need to double team him to keep him out of the backfield. And of course, you go ahead, you double team Aiden Hutchinson and stuff like that. Hey, it's just gonna get us to go ahead and knock the other team's quarterback on their ass, just like the Maniac likes to say. We gotta knock that other team's quarterback on their ass. We know it won't be Fields in Chicago anymore. We just know that. Uh, might be Caleb Williams, might be one of the other few. But who knows? Who knows? I do think the Lions. One of the things, um, the instigator, uh, Brian, from very good friend of mine, also helped me out on this channel. Never appeared on this channel yet, as on the broadcast. We still got to get him on here, but I call him the instigator Brian, because he likes to throw monkey wrenches, and he likes to get the maniac route in me. I mean, he'll go ahead and just say stuff like he's a Packer fan just to go ahead and get me riled up. But I'll tell you, his mama should spank him for even pretending to be a Packer fan. Because if you're a Packer fan, you're never a true Lions fan. I mean, it's just you're not. You cannot be a Packers fan and be a Lions fan, because that's oil and water, and everybody knows oil and water don't mix. I mean, it's like, no, you can't do it. It just can't be done. It's like, I mean, you may have that little devil on each side of your shoulder and stuff like that, but when those FUT the Packers, and everybody knows what that stands for. Uh, you have FUT the Packers. Like I say, everybody knows what that stands for. I'm not gonna say those words, but all day, all night. Uh, but yeah, I am optimistic about what's going on. I just think that the worst thing right now that I don't like that Jonah Jackson was let go. I mean, yes, he's a free agent. He was a free agent. So I mean, it was his chance to go out. And yes, I don't blame Jonah Jackson for going ahead and going to the Rams. I don't blame him. You go where, when you can get paid, you go where you got, where you go. You know, uh, but hey, I do know that does affect the offensive line. And that's been one of the strengths that that's been the major strength that has made Goff what he is today. You know, that's been just that has made Goff and the Lions what. So you got to keep building with the with that offensive line. You got to keep that offensive line going. Um, as everybody knows, whenever I can, I watch Good Morning Football and stuff like that. And yes, you do. You definitely need a strong defense. You definitely need that side of the ball to be strong. But you also need in today's NFL, you need a potent, high scoring offense. You know that can go ahead and just be so potent that even a strong defense cannot stop it. We had the most expensive O line with Penal Sue on a rookie deal. Time to get another rookie deal to keep us responsible, affordable. Just no way to give Jordan Jackson. Yeah, I do understand. But I mean, and I'm not. I know a GM can only do what he can do. I mean, I'm all one for yeah. You can't go ahead and break the bank on one guy. So yeah, a great point. Love that point. It's because we do. It's every team has his window too. I don't think the Lions window is up. I really don't. But definitely understand that point, and it's really hard to keep you know who you get. But then you got to be able to replace them. And like you say, get somebody on a rookie deal. Um, that really makes a difference. One of the things, you know, one of the things that hurt us when the Lions first got Matt Stafford and they got Sue, both those people, you didn't have a rookie contract back then. Those came, like the year after Sue was acquired. So Nick Fairley went ahead and got on the rookie deal. So yeah, that is definitely a point to be. It's not only a point; it's definitely a reality that needs to be considered. Uh, you know, uh, but yeah, uh, for sure, for sure. So, Detroit fan man, are you happy that the Chicago Bears let go of Fields, or are you kind of like, uh, I think I'm kind of like a wait and see. I'm happy we don't have a running. We don't have to contend with his running ability, even though his passing. Now, say with the way they're building that offense now, and with you know uh, two stout right wide receivers, and with DeAndre Swift and other people being on that, boasting that offense, it looked like they were kind of built. Justin Fields must be thinking, why, why did I have that when it was, why didn't they give that to me? Why didn't they give that to me? So but I do understand where he does he does have a much better chance on if Russell Wilson and taking a look at it from Justin Fields' point of view. Okay, if you're looking at it, you do have a much better chance that Russell Wilson may go ahead and be a flop. You know, uh, so if he's a flop, for Pittsburgh, leave it. Yeah, I mean, you can see two sides as far as where Russell Wilson could go ahead and be like the second. This could be his chance to go ahead and really make something in Pittsburgh, but he could go ahead and lay an egg. If he goes ahead and lays an egg, they got Justin Fields that can come in, and who knows, maybe he might lay another egg. We don't know yet. But one of the things they both have gone to a program that finds ways of keeping winning records, and that's one thing that the Pittsburgh has been good at. Pittsburgh Steelers have been good at. So, you know, definitely no more Kenny Pickett there, so don't got to contend against that. Of course, And they do got Chicago does got of course two picks uh, in the draft, of course, number one overall. At least two first round picks in the draft. Who knows? Still, I don't think now they're going to trade that number one overall pick. I think they're going to use it, to get the quarterback that they want. But they still got it. Okay. So trade composition is hilarious. A sixth round picks next year. I'm concerned a successful rookie quarterback could finally end Chicago talent drought. Golf in 2022 would have been a Chicago franchise record. Yeah, yeah, that's that's definitely true. Uh, it's Yeah, if Chicago does get that franchise quarterback, one of the things though, we all know Chicago ain't been that great as far as getting that franchise quarterback. I mean, um, but will Eberflus be able to do that? Yeah, I am concerned. Yeah, and yes, compensation is hilarious. It does if Justin does play for more than 52% uh, just get more than 52% of the snaps over the year. I think it drops down to a fourth round pick. But still, if you look at it, you know, you still got to look at it that it really wasn't much that they got for their starting quarterback. But yet, you know, did Justin Fields earn a higher draft or a higher not draft but a higher compensation? I don't think he did. He was one that could run the team, but he he who knows what would have been how this year would have been. Yeah, and one thing I don't see any way they're going to get the number one overall pick next year again. I don't see Chicago doing that. So, as far as for the time frame, if they're going to get that franchise quarterback this year, this year would be that year. You know, uh, well, who knows? Could end up getting, they could end up getting somebody that's uh, that's not that great either. That looks good in college, but once you go ahead and you bring him into the NFL, he could be another Ryan Lee. You know, he could be another. They could get like another Trey Lance. And the way Chicago goes ahead and ruin quarterbacks too. You could have. I mean, that's one thing Chicago has done over the years. And I remember Val going ahead and saying that Justin Fields is going to be knocked on his butt so much because of the O line that even though Justin Fields was a good quarterback, she thought that was Val from of course Detroit Lions. Wow, being a Bears fan, she was kind of like uh, Chicago going to go ahead and ruin it. So hey, who knows? Who knows what? But yeah, that's always a concern. They pick up a franchise quarterback. Who knows what it could be? And tell me, is Goff your franchise quarterback? Is Goff the? I mean, and I'm not doing this to knock Goff. I mean, if you had heard about one of the things that I'm afraid of is what if golf regresses? You know, uh, what if you know? So I don't want to see him regress at all, and he could end up just being a great quarterback again next year. Especially if that O line is there. Um, but what if he does regress? Okay. My psychic friend claims the Lions will win the Super Bowl in 2027, and Hooker is the QB. I don't know, man. Wow. Wow. Okay, 2027. Hendon Hooker. Okay. Hey, man, so it's. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Is this a reliable, is this psychic friend? Is this a reliable psychic friend, or is this one of these ones that, their name is, their name's on the fraud list, you know, in the police department? And that's what you got to look at, too, you know. Oh, wow. Uh, Hey, I want him to win. I want him to win this year. 2020. I want to win in 2027 too. I mean, that's definitely want him to win in 2027. I want him to win now through 2027. That would be awesome. You know, because I'll tell you what, I don't know if I can wait that long. I don't know if I can wait that long. I mean, yes, I waited all these years. Okay, I waited all these years. You know, and we all know that Hendon Hooker has the scrambling ability and stuff like that. His main problem you know, is he was drafted on a team that has a starting QB. You know, I mean that's he he's you know Goff earned the right to be the starting QB over the last couple of years. When they first when we first got Goff, everybody more or less thought that he was just that bridge quarterback. To take him to the next. To get us over you know the rough patch. But then eventually he would hand the reins over to somebody else. But I don't know. You've seen the new life. You've seen you seen that if he gets on a roll and stuff like that, he can really be good. And but I don't know. So but one thing I can say is the smart thing, the smart thing about Brad Holmes, is bringing you brought in Hooker. If Goff gets hurt, we got him in the Hooker that can go ahead, or and I don't, I know they're not going to pull him out right away if Goff goes ahead and has a couple of games where he stinks it up, because that's really not. But the you do got the so-called replacement for Goff if it's injuries, if he flubs up, you got him on the team. You know, so it definitely gives the Lions a chance. As that second tier quarterback, uh, or the second, our backup quarterback, because we know we have had trash for backup quarterbacks, you know, for so long. It's just You know, when you had Nate Sutfield, what did he add to the team? Really, if you look at it, and I think technically he's still on the team. Uh, Tim Boyle, you know, a lot of these backup quarterbacks that we have had over the years, just hasn't panned out. So, but I do think that Hendon Hooker's a different, from a different breed. So for sure. I also want to say hi to my other friend at work, Crazy K, Kevin Richards. I mean, he's been named. He's the second one to get a nickname by me. Um, you got the Instigator Brian, and you got Crazy K. There's somebody else that I offer a nickname to, but I gotta hear if he likes it before I actually say on the air. So, uh, but so I hope your psychic friend is right, but I hope it don't take that long. you know, I mean, I know we have talked that we want to win. I know me and you have talked. We want to win the next 4 Super Bowls in a row. That would be awesome. I mean, it wouldn't be awesome for the Detroit Lions to be the one to hand the Kansas City Chiefs their loss. You know, you know, move over San Francisco. Dallas Cowboys, your hopes are dead. Green Bay Packers, man, your time has come and gone. Chicago Bears, maybe see you in a few years. But right now, it is the Detroit Lions time to go ahead and win that Super Bowl. We already did week 1 last year. Yes, we did. But I'm talking, I want to dethrone the Super Bowl. I want to dethrone Kansas City at the Super Bowl or whoever else we play at the Super Bowl. I don't care if it's Buffalo. I don't care if it's because, hey, it could be Lamar Jackson and it could be Lamar Jackson leading the Baltimore Ravens to the Super Bowl. I don't care. Lions got to go ahead and lay down some smackdown on them. You know, that's what they got to do. That's what the Lions got to do. Plain and simple. You know, and I'll tell you, it's also going to be real with when you look at oh okay in 2027 it's a team wearing orange apparently that all you could see. Okay, so orange teams, and of course Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos over there wear orange. I can't think of any other team really that wears the orange over in the AFC. I mean, it's help me out here. Who else wears orange? I mean, we have seen Denver. They'll wear, especially if they go to their. I mean, if it's AFC, that's different because AFC, or I mean NFC, you have the. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. I thought it would be Cleveland or Cincy. Yeah, duh. What the heck? Cincy and Cleveland. Oh, okay. Yep, both of those have orange, especially Cincinnati. But I mean, this is what you know what, Detroit fan man, you have. Oh boy, when Grand Night of 12 comes on, you have just merged the sci-fi talk with football because that's one of the things that we talk about, and especially later on and stuff like that is, you know, I I am of course a 100% football fan, but I do love my sci-fi movies too. So yes, you have merged that with football because I mean you gotta admit psychics are part of sci-fi. So you figured out a way to bring the two of them together. So tell me, should we? But of course, if you also look at it, when we just even talk about the curse and stuff like that, the Bobby Line curse, that's kind of sci-fi, and then they did a ritual to lift the curse. Peyton Manning did. Oh wow. So are you any as far how do you think we have done as far as in free agents? What do you think? Do you think the line how would and I did want to bring up with you know one of the things that points that I would brought or asked to bring up with by Brian the instigator. Uh Mr. Gator Brian is he did say he thinks that you got to build not only through the draft but also through free agent. Do you think we did enough through free agency? You know, uh, or do you think there's more surprises to come? You know, because of course now we do got to, like you say, we do got to get something to someone to replace Jackson and you know in the draft. You know, and who is your favorite free? The ooh, okay, I got somebody coming on. Hey, Megan, welcome. How's it going? Okay, I'm
Hang
Kenneth.
on. Sorry. Knocked my camera. There we go. That's better. Hang on. Just let me grab the door. Tim, you don't need to see my messy house.
Everybody, don't look at Megan's house. Oh, you don't
No,
want to see mine.
no.
No.
I had a roof leak and I've
Oh,
got mold. So, yeah. Hang on. Just let me get situated, Tim. Here we go. This is better. Yeah.
all right. So I made a mistake yesterday.
Oh,
Uh,
only one?
no,
Only
no,
one?
wait, wait,
Two?
wait, wait,
Oh,
wait,
hang
wait.
on. No, 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 no,
Let me
no,
let me
no.
finish. Let me finish.
I'm
Okay.
calling you out. You dissed the 12s. You
That
dissed
that's
the.
that's what I was going to say. I made that mistake by going ahead and mentioning that that our inside our dome that we kind of gave the 12th a little bit of the run for their money. I think I used
Run for your money.
more.
I think your words were, and I might be
Yeah.
misquoting you here, we were louder than the 12s in the dome. We haven't had
I-
the King Dome in 50, almost 50 freaking years, my son.
no.
So that may be true, but not right now. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, yeah. But you know that's one way to get the dandruff off. But yeah, I'm talking
I
about
am already in a foul mood, Tim. Don't start on me. This will end up being you. This is, I think that's the Grim Reaper from Fallout. That will be you, my son. No, it's all good. As I said to you yesterday, if I can't take a joke,
I know. Yeah, you know we gotta take digs at each other, just
oh
like
yeah,
yeah.
it's no fun if we're not digging. Hey, but I always maintain, Tim, it could be a lot worse. You could be a 49ers fan, and then I would no longer be your friend. I'm just saying.
You know what? Now, this one of the things that we have uncovered here through investigation, confession,
Confession, mother.
confession.
Confession.
Well, see, when I confessed about me, that was investigating about you. No.
No. It was a confession from you,
I
which
was
led to an investigation to me, which became a confession. I think.
yeah, you're right. There, yeah, I'm just trying. You're man. You're too witty right now.
I am on 4 hours sleep with the migraine from hell and a sinus infection. So it's real good to be me right now.
Oh my god.
But, and I've just come off a 4-hour stream for
Oh
Brandon.
wow.
So yeah, I don't half witty instead of full witty would probably be right. But yeah. So yeah. But it's
Okay.
good to see you again. We'll
Yep.
talk to you again.
And I'm going to give you time to go ahead and rant about the bad things and the good things that your team has done in free agency.
I would say everything has been a plus for me except Leonard Williams again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know my viewpoint on Leonard and how pissy, excuse my language, I am about. Sorry, my camera is messing up. I am about losing the second pick.
Mm-hmm.
It is a well-known fact. I don't think I'm telling you anything different. No. I'm trying to think of a nice way to, and you can hear the thunder. The thunder is my rage at the moment. I will give Williams one more year. Okay. Consider it a prove it year, if you will, to prove me wrong. But we just came off a stream about Sam Howell. Now, I wasn't totally convinced on Sam Howell to begin with. Mm-hmm. I will admit that. But the more I like him, and knowing that he will sit back behind Gino, is he our QB of the future? I don't think so. Is he a good one to have in reserve if Gino should go down, as Brandon said? Yeah. I'm just glad we dodged Fields and McCarthy. Now, I would have been really starting to rant. But the good thing, I'm really just happy that we did more in free agency than I expected, which is a good thing because we do next to nothing usually. But it's all been positive. There is a plan for it, whatever that plan is, which hasn't always been there for Seattle. Because, as I said to you in the draft, we sit there going, what the hell is this? Where now, we don't know for sure because we're not John Schneider or Mike McDonald, but we've got some ideas. The guard, linebacker, maybe a safety, maybe. You know, we're more, I guess, getting clearer of what we may or may not do in the draft. So, but I'm loving George Fant is back. I'm loving that we re-signed Tyler Lockett. Little sad about Bobby, but it makes sense now. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But
thanks.
Williams.
Keep
Yeah.
on going.
Okay, sweetie. No, I was just going to curse a blue streak about Williams, but changed my mind.
Okay. So, how many years do you think realistically it's going to take to get Seattle to the Super Bowl?
I said today, well, I would love it to happen in 26 because that is the team's 50th birthday.
Okay.
They played the first game on the 1st of August 1976, which will be 50 years on the 1st of August 26. I still think we're a good 3 years away because this year Mike McDonald comes in and builds the team.
Mm-hmm.
The year after that, he consolidates, makes any changes. Between the 3rd year to the 5th year,
Mm-hmm.
I think, probably 3rd or 4th year, I think we will make a run. Would I like to do it in 26, which is 2 years? Yeah, I'd love it. I don't know that would happen, though. I guess it depends on how quickly the team takes to the new schemes with the new coaches and coordinators. It could happen, but I think 3 to 5, honestly. 3 to 5.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, but for the next 3 years, the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl.
As long as it's not the 49ers or the Chiefs, I'm good with it. I would not mind that, and I would be roaring. I would be roaring for you if you did, as long as it's not the effing Chiefs again. I am golden with that. Or
Right.
San Francisco. I don't mind. Yep, no, you go right ahead. But yeah, I don't. Everyone's saying because we've made all these good changes, it'll be this year, and it's like, how? We've got new coaches, new players.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some of our pieces still there. Yeah, I would love to think it could be this year, but as I said, 2 to 3 minimum, 5 maximum, somewhere in there for sure. Yep.
Okay. So, okay. Question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you further ahead or less ahead from that Russell Wilson trade? Did it help you or hurt you more?
We've got the 3rd round pick from Denver in pick 78. So I would say we're another year away from the trade. So if you look at it that way, we're a step further away. But if you're looking at picks, we're half a step away because we've still got 78 in this draft, unless we trade it away, which I think may happen. I hope not, because we've only got 7 picks this year and we need them, but it wouldn't surprise me for the late rounders if we did. I think we're about maybe 3/4 of a step away because of that pick. If we didn't have the pick, I'd say we're a full step away because we're another year away. If that makes sense.
Actually, that trade made you a better team. So you're further ahead because of the trade. I mean, I more or less knew that, but I wanted to get your
I think if you look at the way we traded that first trade after we lost Russell, we traded him, I should say, then last year's with the picks we got and how we used them. Now, it's going to be interesting, of course, with Mike McDonald, because we get to see this year how much of the picks previously were Pete Carroll's choices and John Schneider's choices as well. So that's another thing to think of. But yeah, I think if you look at where we were 3 or even 5 years ago, in terms of where we are now, we are far better, way better. Some of that, I won't say all of our draft picks in the last 2 years have hit. Some have hit more than others. That's just the draft.
Oh, yeah.
I know it. The Lions know it too. We all know that. But compared to where we were even 4 or 5 years ago, we are well ahead. 100% well ahead. Yeah, 100%.
Right. and if you were to try to, let's say if you guys didn't have the trade, and if you were to try to trade Russell Wilson at this point in his career, you guys wouldn't have gotten the amount of.
Oh, we wouldn't have got half of what we got.
Right.
What we got.
So, and basically, this is what I say to you guys: Bravo, Seahawks, suckers, Broncos.
Exactly, and I mean, Seattle. You cannot tell me Seattle did not fleece Denver in that trade. They paid Russell we're going to pay Russell $280 million before he played the game. The 12s and everyone in Seattle and who followed Seattle, unless you were a Russell Wilson fan, were screaming, for the love of God, don't. Myself included. I was, I went on Broncos stream saying, you are not getting 280, but I got accused of being a salty 12 because we lost Russ. Actually, no, I've just spent 10 years watching him decline greatly. Then, of course, my favorite game of 2022 was the first week.
Right.
When Denver played Seattle at Seattle. And they take the ball out of Russell's hands to kick a 64-yard field goal, which was never going to make it because it's near the water. We win by 1 point. Russell wonders why everyone's booing. And the slide, and we're all standing there going, we warned you this was happening. We've seen this for 4 years 3 years, at least 2 years, 3 years with him. And we were trying to tell you no, not because we're salty that he left. I say, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, my son. But this, Donald, what's his name? Aaron Donald busted his finger, and he was never the same.
Right.
But and let's face it, I'm not a Rams fan, but that guy scared the hell out of the Seahawks for years. I wish him the very best in retirement. Please don't come back ever. But the thing is, I still get called a salty Seahawks fan because Russell left. Because I was like, we warned you. We told you. You didn't want to listen? Okay, fair enough. Then don't come bitching to Seattle that we ripped you off in the trade.
Yeah.
We got way more. Let's face it, though, Tim. We got way more than we should have. But it showed you brilliantly how desperate teams will do stupid effing things.
Yeah, because they get sold on this one guy. They think, Denver at that time thought they were one piece away, and they thought that Russell was that piece.
That's the thing. And what I loved was they had Nathaniel Hackett as head coach, which was never going to work if you know USC history, because Pete Carroll replaced his father at USC, and I thought that was hilarious. It's like, hang on, is that the Hackett whose father's Paul that Pete replaced at USC? Oh, this gets better. Like father, like son in coaching. Nathaniel Hackett won't even get a high school team. But you know what I mean? It's like that whole thing for Denver could have been prevented. But as you said, they thought it was going to be the year and Russ was going to be the player.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was desperate. It was. Well, let's just face it. The
desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah, and they got sold a bill of sales by Pete Carroll.
No. I mean, that was a Schneider move. That was straight out of the Schneider playbook. That was I remember I was in LA watching that game, so I was in the States already. Wishing I was in Seattle, but I was in LA because I didn't go to Seattle for like the next month.
Yeah.
And we were all on live stream like we're doing now.
Okay.
And Brandon calls that they're going for a field goal. And we are literally sitting there like, wait, what? This is not Mile High. There is a sea breeze 500 meters away.
Yeah.
But it was hilarious. And I swear, you probably heard me screaming in delight from Detroit, man. I screamed. People in my Airbnb would probably think I was being murdered in LA. But God, it was beautiful.
But but you know that's kind of like the second time that the football was taken away from Russell Wilson's hands and shouldn't have.
Oh,
Like,
if you're
like
gonna say
I mean, it's not, and that wasn't meant. That wasn't meant as a dig. Right, but that was not meant as a dig. You know,
no, it was.
But it just meant as, you know, I mean, coaches can go ahead and do bad decisions. That was a bad decision. That was a bad decision of the coach. Well, actually, I got it backwards because in the Super Bowl they put the ball, you know, instead of running the ball and giving it to Williams, so I got that backwards. That was my bad.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, when I make a mistake, I will say it.
But you have to admit, with the Super Bowl, if I was being 110% honest with you, Tim, I would have done exactly the same thing Pete did at that moment. I absolutely would have. Would I have done the same thing Nathaniel Hackett did in Seattle? No, because I know I've been to Seattle. I have sat there. You feel the breeze coming off the water. The waterfront's only about half a mile away from you. And if you know anything about sea breezes, you know that that's going to blow straight through. It is literally a wind tunnel because we're not in a dome anymore.
Right.
So while I will say I probably would have done what Pete did in the Super Bowl, there's no effing way I'm doing what Nathaniel had. 64 yards, maybe if it was 24 yards. Again, you'd think about it, but it was 64. Not even our kicker, who is... Okay.
Okay. Your kicker's cut.
We've got Jason Myers, so I cannot go too hard. Not going too hard. But you know, the coaches are only human. But Hackett effed up. There's no way. There's no way you can say that he didn't.
Yeah.
But excuse me. Sorry, that was my phone. But I don't wish Russell harm, but I am so glad Seattle doesn't have to deal with him. I wish Pittsburgh the very best of luck, because they're sure as shit going to need it. There you go. I said it. And I know Pittsburgh fans, and again, they're rejoicing that Russell's coming, and I'm like, just remember what happened to Denver.
I was going to say, have you seen...
advice. Be happy, and I wish Russell all the very best. But I got 2 words for you, people. Denver Broncos. And the kicker of it now is they have to swallow $38 million of a cap hit for that loser.
I know, and it's like, okay, so basically, even though it turned out to be a clunker, you know, Russell Wilson. Denver paid for a Mercedes, and they're still paying the price for a Mercedes, except they're paying for that Mercedes that ended up turning out to be a clunker.
Yes, that is a way to put it, Tim. Yeah, you know, they paid for the Ferrari and got a clunker. Yeah, exactly. That's a great way. I love that. Yeah.
And now they're even paying for the, you know, on Pittsburgh still. They're Pittsburgh is not paying for it. They're still paying that
the insurance payments on it while Denver is paying the car loan. Yeah, that's a great way to put it, Tim. I love that, being from a family of car dealers. Yeah, but it shows you again. They were desperate to pay the $280 million to get him. How desperate are they to get rid of him, saying we'll swallow close to $40 million if this idiot leaves? We're good
Right.
with that. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. A lot of Seattle. I nearly booted someone on our chat who wanted Russell back. Seattle. Oh, good Lord. I'm biting my tongue so hard I can taste blood. And it's like, you know what? Not today. I'm not
Mhm.
letting this get to me today. But yeah, there are still some in Seattle. It's like, why don't we bring him back? Why do we bring him back? Why did he leave? You know, but yeah,
Mhm.
it was interesting. I have to say, it was interesting and very fun as a 12. And that sounds snotty and like I'm bitter about the whole thing. I'm not, honestly. I do sincerely wish him the best of luck.
Yeah.
If he crashes and burns again, I'm not going to be upset. But we got the better deal. Yeah, okay, our quarterback situation still sucks. Am I glad Gino's back? Sure. Is he going to be here in 5 years' time? Doubtful.
Right.
Will Sam Howell be here in 5 years? Maybe, maybe not again. But everyone's saying that Howell will be a bust. He played for the Commanders. Give the kid a break. He played for the Commanders, people. Give the kid a break.
Right.
But I do only see Sam playing if Gino's hurt. God forbid that happens. But yeah, I'm so excited for this season now. It's probably been a good 5 years. Well, aside from the last 2 years with the draft, it's probably been a good 5 years since I've been this excited in an off season. But yeah.
And yeah, I mean, and when Gino seems like every time Gino plays against Detroit, he seems like an all-star.
Is that because Gino is an all-star or the Lions stuff?
I think there I know I think there's a little bit of truth to
A little
both.
bit of A and a little bit of B, Tim. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because especially especially with the defensive side of the ball, the way the way the Lions have been with the defense. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
look. Our D line has been brilliant, and our O line has sucked, and you're the complete opposite of that. So
exactly.
I am not throwing stones here, brother. I'm just looking forward to the season.
Oh,
Unfortunately, we do not play the Steelers this year. I don't know if I'm upset or happy about that. But we do play the Lions. I'm just having another look at the schedule. I mean, it's going to be a good season.
yeah.
As much as I hate Jim Harbaugh,
Mm.
yeah, Jim's in LA now, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
John. Hang on, I always get these two confused. John is with my Ravens, isn't he? Still?
yeah. John is still
Yeah,
with the Ravens, and Jim is
no,
with the
that's right.
Chargers.
I apparently said on a stream last week that Jim was with the Ravens. Good God, I hope that
Oh,
never
God.
happens. Oh, God, no. I'm looking forward to the Rams. The Rams are looking okay. I won't say they're brilliant because it's still going to be
Right.
49ers, but they're not looking too bad. And I think they're going to give most a run for their money. Maybe not make playoffs. I don't know. But yeah, the Rams are looking good.
Yeah, they
So
got Jonah Jackson now.
they got Jackson. Oh, shit.
They got Jonah Jackson
They
for
got
Detroit.
Jonah. Jeez Louise. Okay. I hadn't
Yeah,
heard that.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
We can afford to keep them. It's just I.
We got rid of a lot of our guys, but as somebody reminded me, this is exactly what Pete Carroll and John Schneider did 14 years ago when they came to Seattle. They cleaned house. And it makes sense for a new coach to want to do that.
It does, but see, there's also in some part is also it makes sense to get your own people and stuff like that that you want. But in the transition period, though, you got to be able to use the players you've got.
Well, that's why
Sure.
we've kept. That's why we kept
Right.
people like Tyler Lockett for
Yeah.
that. I would have started the one-person
Yeah.
riot if we lost Tyler. I'll just
Right.
say that.
Yeah.
But it's also why we bought people like Noah and Noah Fant played for us.
Right.
Admittedly under Pete, but that's why I like the moves. Yeah, I wanted to keep Bobby, but as you said, cap-wise, it was not going to work.
Right.
But also now with what it gives us and what we can still do, it gives us so yeah. Although it's great now because Bobby jerseys are down to like $50 in the $60 in the pro shop. So I can finally bite the bullet and get one.
Yeah.
But I love Seattle's free agency this year compared to others. I was watching a stream I did this time last year where it's like, I hate this. We're doing nothing. And now I'm talking to you about how excited I am.
Yeah. Right.
You know,
And now I know what. See, when we were in a totally different situation, of course, when Brad Holmes took over our team. Because we had no cap space. Uh, we had to go ahead and dump a lot of people just because one of the things were Matt Patricia. Uh, Matt Patricia didn't know how to use the people he had. And basically because Jim Cotterwell had gotten us, they went 9-7, 2 years in a row,
right.
and then and Bob Quinn brings in Matt Patricia, and Matt Patricia just destroys the team. Chases away
Much like
all the players.
Hackett did in Denver. Let's
Right,
face it.
right. Yep. And I mean, I kind of wondered, and this is not the first time I said this. I wondered if Bob Quinn was working more for the Patriots and the trades that he gave to the Patriots than he would for the Lions, because everything.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
wow,
everything just
take.
Yeah, because everything just seemed to go more towards the Patriots way as far as in the trades then, and it's just I think, and
I think that I don't know enough about the situation to say either way, but but as fans, that's what I want. I want fan singular, to question these things because, as I said to you, there've been drafts, and as you know, I sit up for the full 3 days just because time differences and whatnot. Where you sit there and you watch who they take, and you think, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, you scratch your head. Exactly.
You scratch your head and go, "This makes no sense."
Where the hell did they pick this
I
guy up
remember
from?
3 years ago, I sat up for the first time watching the draft 3 years ago because we didn't get the full 3 days. We got highlights.
Right.
And it's like 2 a.m. Oh, no, 3 a.m. on a Sunday morning. No, was it? Yeah, it was. It was beginning of the fourth round. And I'm waiting, we're chatting away on chat, trying to stay awake, drinking coffee. Seattle make their pick. I spit the coffee like everywhere. I throw the coffee mug against the wall, and there's still a mark somewhere. I think it might be on my ceiling where the coffee mug's hit. And I'm like, what the hell? It's like, I can't remember who it was. Was it LJ Collier? I can't even remember. I think it was Collier. And I'm still looking at Brandon's like, suddenly I go radio silent, and Brandon hears the crash of the coffee mug, and he's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "You're kidding. I have been up for 28 hours for this? What?" As you said, like, your head's in your head, you're going, "What the hell? Did they even look at this guy?"
Right.
Or did they just pull the name from a hat and thought, "That's a great name, that'll do." But having said that, I did see a video that John Schneider did behind the draft. So it was the days before the draft, and they had the big board, but it was locked, so you couldn't obviously see who they wanted on the boards.
Right.
And I would not want to. My anxiety would not let me be a GM. That's all I'm saying. I could not. I love John Schneider, but I could not. Aside from the fact he's from Green Bay, but you allowed one mistake, Packers boy. We'll forgive that. But I could like the meeting. Like he was in them. I think he said from 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. He's back-to-back meetings with scouts and and I was like, I couldn't do it. So you do give them a break sometimes, like for some of the choices, but there's others like Jamal Adams. Have a look at what we gave up for Jamal Adams and see why every Seahawk fan is still going. I actually have his Funko Pop. You know the Funko Pops. I have his Funko Pop sitting outside. Going, am I binning this now, or am I keeping it? Am I getting rid of it? What the hell? Yeah, that was another one. The Jamal Adams. Now I love Jamal. You think I'm accident prone and can trip over air and hurt myself? I can. And I do. But Jamal is way worse than I am.
Okay. I mean, like, I think we could have had, like, Aaron Donald.
Oh, there was another one. Oh, Creed Humphrey. Oh, that took me mad. How badly I wanted Creed Humphrey. Yeah. And we took Jamal. Was it Jamal we took? I think it might have been Jamal we took instead of Creed. How the hell do you work that out? That's a good idea.
We could have had Randy Moss and we took Terry Fair. Way back when. We could have.
What?
We could have had Randy Moss and we took Terry Fair.
Okay, I'm not bitching that the Jamal and or Collier takes were bad. Then if that's what you.
I mean, this and as far as for like, we could have had, if I'm right, I think we could have had Aaron Donald, and I think we took E-Bust.
Okay, I take back. I take back the shitty things I just said about John Schneider and his butthole.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah,
but yeah, the one that really made a lot of 12s think, what the hell, was Creed Humphrey. Missing Creed.
Yeah.
Like, that was a few years ago and we still shake our heads. Like,
yeah.
You know, I mean, look at Creed. He was brilliant, and that could have been in Seattle. Like, could you... oh, pardon me.
Yep, that was right. We took Ebron over Donald. Yeah, and oh god, I remember Jim was madder than hell about that one. And another thing in the second round, different year, we ended up taking slow ass Giovanni Tavai.
Okay, Tim, I want you to clip this, so if I ever bitch about Seattle's drafting, you can show me this and go, we did worse. We did worse.
We did. I mean, there's just, it was like it's like
your mind blows. Your mind blows when you.
Yeah, and you wonder why for so long.
Yeah, it's just like GM, you had one job.
Yep.
One freaking job to take out Aaron Donald. Just one.
Yeah.
John, Creed Humphrey, 2 words. And you took Jamal Adams. I'm pretty sure it was Jamal. I can't quite remember, but we'll use Jamal. How is Jamal? Oh, no. D. Eskridge, I think it was. We took over Creed Humphrey. Please explain to me how that was going to work. Last Ridge, as we call him, because he shatters on impact. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So, Tim, I want you to clip that and send it to me so I can look at it when we go through the draft and make dumb decisions.
Okay. Yeah.
At least we're not the Lions. At least we're not the Lions.
Right. Oh man. I mean, it was just so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's head
and that's
scratching.
just. Yeah.
It's head
I mean,
scratching.
it's like, are you guys in?
Are you guys watching these guys? Like, you went to the combine, didn't you? You go to pro days, right? You scouts.
What have you been smoking? What have you been smoking?
And can I please have some so I can make sense of this? No?
Oh, because
Okay.
so that I can live through the season. Oh,
hey, the only thing that's going to take the pain away from this pick is something medicinal, and that is freely available in the state of Washington.
Yeah. And actually, it's illegal here in Michigan too.
Oh, it's legal there too. I know.
Yeah,
Washington. I know it's very illegal in Washington.
It's legal, but see, in every state in the union, in every state, it's legal, but it's still illegal.
Well, it's
every state, every state, because it's still federally illegal.
The only way at least you can get it, because the only way I can have it in this country is if, God forbid, I should ever get cancer, and even then you have to jump through governmental hoops to get it, and you're not guaranteed you'll get it. So, but yeah, sometimes you just shake your head and wonder if it's worth worth going to another team. That's why I've got the bird team. Oh, Timothy. I'm using your full name now, sir, because I'm a little angry. You said now the Falcons I will give you because they have Drake London from USC.
Yeah,
but the freaking Cards, no chance.
That's your brother. That was actually Grandizer 12 that said that.
Oh, well, yeah, he's your friend.
I read it.
And not here to defend himself. So, yes, Grands, listen to this. The Falcons, Drake London.
Mm-hmm.
My USC boy, I've got his helmet over there.
Yeah.
The freaking I rang my brother at 3 a.m. in Australia when I saw the Cards and Seahawks game that the Seahawks won by 10. He got a 3 a.m. wake-up call. He had to be awake 2 hours later to go to work. Not my friggin' problem, dude. Not my problem. But, yes, thank you, Tim. I take that back kind of because you encouraged him. So, and then you made your next mistake about this in the 12s. We are no longer friends. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I hope I can see Caleb going to Chicago. I hope he doesn't, but it's looking like it. I mean, that won't be a bad thing for him, but I hope they look after him. And it means I'm going to have to watch the Bears. Are you
know what? I want to see. This is what I want to see with Caleb Williams. I want to see every team who plays the Bears, except Green Bay, knock Caleb Williams on his ass.
Oh, you are dead to me 5 times over, my son.
I mean, hey, I'm not a Bears fan. Okay, so
no, I know.
So any team except Green Bay that beats the Bears is better for the Lions, and I'm all about what's better for the Lions.
Yeah, but you're
That's
still
what I'm about.
Because you want my USC quarterback, who I saw live, and who is.
Well, if he wants to make the mistake to go to a rival of mine, I want to see him get knocked on his ass.
Okay.
I'm not apologizing for that.
No, I get that because if he went to the 49ers, I would want the Seahawks to knock him on his ass. So I get that.
Right.
But okay, let's use our imaginations here because it's not going to happen with how we finished up, or how you finished up. What if he was at the Lions?
Well, then he wouldn't be a rival of mine.
No, but I'm saying Seahawks play Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams is there as your quarterback. Just as I said, use your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the huddle with the Seahawks. Am I saying knock Williams on his ass because Tim likes him and he's playing for the Lions? Or am I saying Don't knock him on his ass because he's my USC boy, and F you all.
Okay, Seahawks are playing the Lions.
Seahawks are playing the Lions. Caleb is your starting QB.
And you're gonna want him not to beat you.
I would like him, if possible, not to be knocked on his ass because he's from USC. Pete definitely does not want him on his ass because he's from USC. Are you sensing a pattern? I know Pete's only an advisor. He's not the coach anymore.
Right.
Just go with this. But he's saying to Mike, don't you knock him on his ass because he's from USC, okay? What do you...
But, okay. Okay, go ahead.
No, I was going to say something clever, but it's too late, way too late in the day for me to be clever. No, but okay, I get that you want that because he's a rival. I'd probably want that if he was on the 49ers, forgetting the fact he's from USC. I just don't... Right. I tell you what, I am glad he's not going to Arizona, or doesn't look to be going to Arizona, because they would have murdered him in Arizona. I mean, look what they've done to Kyler Murray, who is no Caleb Williams.
One of the slogans with Maniac Sports is, I don't care what quarterback you are, I want the Lions to knock you on your ass.
Oh, wow. Tim, why am I still on your stream right now? Why am I still on your stream subjecting myself to this when I don't have to be?
I don't care. I mean, granted, this might come back and bite me in the ass.
And I'm going to be here.
Guys, but...
Oh, you best believe if it comes back and biting you on the ass, I am on your stream straight up. I will get the notification and I will be straight here, my boy.
Yeah, but I want Geno Smith knocking his ass.
Oh, wow.
I said that out loud.
I think you did that. Tim.
Yeah.
Of course you did say it out loud, dude. But I think you need your inside voice. I'm all... Who's your no, serious question here, because who is your quarterback at the moment? Or this
Jared Goff.
Why did I think Derrick Henry? Because Derrick Henry just got traded, didn't
he? Yeah. Hey, how's it going, Forrest?
Hey, Foster. Jared Goff is your QB and you want Geno Smith on his ass? Oh,
yeah.
Brother. You are
I want my offensive line to protect.
Hang on. I do not want Jared Goff on his ass. I want Geno Smith to remove his head from his shoulders and boot it through the uprights. There you go.
Wait.
No, you got this on yourself. You dissed the 12. You dissed my quarterback. It's on, brother. It's on. No. Actually, I won't have Geno kick because he could hurt himself. We don't want that. I want the Aussie punter boot his head from his shoulders into the waterfront, which is about a mile away from the stadium. That's what I'm going to do with Jared Goff, my son.
Okay. So then we'll just get to see what Hendon Hooker is like once you guys do that.
Hendon Hooker was one I wanted in Seattle. I really liked him. I mean, I get why we didn't go for him, and I was a little disappointed, but Hendon Hooker, I didn't mind him. A lot of 12s didn't like him. But I did. There was something about him, and I'm just trying to think, without digging out my notes from last year, what it was. To be honest, I'd swap Hooker for Goff for your QB. But, Foster, I'm doing well. I'm just giving Tim crap because, can't help bad luck. Wait a minute.
By the way, Foster is a Bears, has a Bears podcast and everything like that too.
Oh, Foster, you have to promise me if you get Caleb, you look after him for me. Promise me, or I'll come over and say nasty things about the teddy bears. Wait a minute. Excuse me.
Really? You just went there.
I went there.
You just went there. The teddy bears.
Hey,
Hey, hey,
I've got my Seahawks teddy bear on the shelf. I can't show you because my
yeah,
camera's screwing up,
right.
but he's still there. So
Yeah, but I don't think you meant it as a
no,
sign of
sorry.
respect that you said it. You
Yeah,
meant it as a little dig. You know.
again, Tim, inside the head voice. My bad,
Okay.
my
Oh, okay.
bad.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Okay. Okay. Well, See, it's just what you're doing is you're bringing out the maniac in me.
yeah. Look,
So
you
that
said you
that's why
wanted. Hey,
that,
listen.
that's why my outside voice
No,
comes
you
out.
just. You
I mean
did.
I don't know if I got to do that. Like in Kung Fu Panda, that inner peace, dinner please. No.
Inner, listen, inner peace is freaking overrated. In my opinion, it takes way too long to get to, as does Nirvana. So I'm quite happy here. Fosters, thank you for looking after Caleb for me. Yes, I did use but you made the mistake of dissing the 12s. Gino, you want Gino on his ass. I want Goff's head taken off his shoulders and his helmet thrown down towards the Space Needle to land on top of the Space Needle. But
Vengeance is mine, thus saith.
I said,
Megan, vengeance
I
is
actually said
mine, thus
Hendon
saith.
Hooker. If you're going to correct me with the accent, I said Hendon Hooker twice. So if you're going to pick on me for the accent, which is fair enough, I actually said Hendon Hooker twice. And actually 3 and 4 times
I,
now.
so they will look after. So you know what I mean. It's okay. You can go ahead and give Caleb Williams a hand up after he's not done. Did I say?
Again, Tim, do I have to tell you inside voice? As I tell my nephew, inside voice.
Okay. You might want to mute for a little bit because I'm getting a request to do a roar. Okay.
No, I need to go to the bathroom. Hang on, Tim. I need to go to the bathroom. Grandizer is here.
Yeah.
I shall go and prepare myself. You do that, Roy, and I'll be right back.
Okay, all right. We'll give her a little bit. But this is for Matt. All right. Special request. All right. It's great. I mean, no offense. Yeah, oh boy. How's it going? How's it going? Granddaddy. Hey, you requested it. You requested it. Uh, yeah, I was just saying one of the second sayings, for me, and that's with all the quarterbacks that I face or that the Lions face, I just want them to be knocked on their ass. I'm not gonna apologize for that saying to anybody. So that's where Megan was sounding that she wanted Goff's head kicked through here and stuff like that, and yeah. All right. Please forgive us Americans. We could hear you talk all day and never get tired of your accent. It's pure gold, mate, for sure, for sure. He probably works in a freaking oven, you son of a gun. Oh. Oh boy. But it's nice to see you again, Foster. Yeah, so what do you think about if you're still here, what's your feelings on the Fields trade? You know, uh, and Matt, what is your feelings on the Fields trade? Justin Fields, and Caleb Williams possibly coming into more than possibly, probably coming into the. It's good to be seen.
Excuse me.
Hi, welcome back.
Thank you. I'm just taking the PISS out of Grandizer. So easy to do. Just give me 1 minute, Tim. I'll be back in just a sec. Grant, thank you for the lovely comment about the accent, but if you tell me to throw a shrimp on the barbie, I'm going to deck you because that's all I heard when I was in the States and people would hear the accent. So yes, thank you. I actually hate my accent. It's got a little bit of English in there. But yeah. No, he's not. Fair point, Matt. He's not. I had the pleasure of seeing him live in LA, and there is much work to be done, of course. I think he has great potential, but I will say, as Tim knows, I am a USC fan, so maybe that's covered with a bit of bias. But yes, it tells you how good Fields was with a 6th rounder, which may, if conditions are met, go to a 4th rounder. Does that tell you all you need to know about?
Sure.
No, I understand what you're saying, Matt. That is true. He is a great player. I did see him live. I watch USC. But you're right. You're also very right in saying he's not proven at the NFL level because he has not played NFL football. So give him some time. And look, I have his USC signed helmet with Drake London's. Now, that does not mean they're going to star out straight away. He could. I hope he does. But I'm just bloody glad the Cards didn't get him. Oh, they would have killed him. But I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes, to be honest, Matt. But yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing him being knocked on his ass.
Oh, do not. Excuse me. Sorry, Tim. I'm going to yell at Grandizer again just for a moment. Just
okay.
Do not mention Dave Craig's name to me. Jim Zorn is my man. I have his 10 jersey hanging in my wardrobe closet, as you Americans call it. Sorry, I don't speak American. How will Sam develop? Okay, firstly, to note, Sam is sitting behind Gino. He is purely QB2. Sam, I actually asked Brandon Grandizer, and he says 3 to 4 if and only if, God forbid, Gino's injured. No, hang on. Sorry, let me say that again. I misspoke. Brandon and I are of the opinion he plays no more than 3 or 4 games. More, of course, if Gino gets hurt or they're resting him. I don't see him playing more than 4, maybe 5. Sam Howell will develop as a QB2, watching and learning from Gino. Is that a good thing for him? I think it could be worse. He could be learning after Russell. Excuse me, sorry. Inside voice.
So no wonder why. No wonder why the 12s were ditching you about Russell. You know, you just kind of. You still get those little digs in there.
Yeah, well, I'm not the only. And that's a good point, Grandizer. Yes, he was playing at the Commanders, so he didn't really have the line. Now, let's face it, Seattle needs to build a line.
Mm-hmm.
We're still building our line. Will it be better than the Commanders? Good God Almighty, I hope so. Can't be any worse. Actually, yes, it can. Take care, Matt.
Yeah, thanks, Matt, for coming on. I appreciate it.
But I'm looking forward to Hal. I didn't rate him at the Commanders because there was nothing to rate at the Commanders because the team sucked around him. I think watching Gino and being around that kind of player can only be a good thing. Will he be the next Dave Craig? I hope not, because Craig got busted in half, snapped his back. Will he be the next Jim Zorn? He can't be because he's not a lefty. Matt Hasselbeck? maybe. Warren Moon, maybe. Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, the backup. If Gino's busted beyond belief, snap the glass. Get the little hammer, break the glass, pull Sam out. Yeah. That's a great way, and that's exactly what he is. Yeah. But I like it. It means we're not going for QB. Well, somebody was saying over on the Hawk's Nest that we'll go 3 QBs. Gino, Sam, practice squad. We basically, hang on, let me grab my diary, which I have it all written down in Grandizer, and I can tell you. I think we did a pick for pick swap. So we gave up picks 102. No, sorry. What did we give up for him? We got picks picks. Oh, what did we give up? God dang it. Can't read my own handwriting, which is a problem. Hang on, let me check, Grant. Hang on, let me check. It was basically a pick for pick swap. So it was Sam and picks. And the pick numbers that we gave up were okay. So a 4th round pick, 102 and 179 for that we got from them, and number 78 and 152 went to them. So basically, it was pretty much pick for pick with a quarterback. So I think we got a sweet deal. I would have liked to have kept 78 just for where it was, but somebody told me that we would probably have traded back at 78. So, but yeah, I'm really happy with it. I honestly thought the same. I thought probably the Saints over Denver for Hal. So right. When I woke up to my phone buzzing saying Hal to Seattle, more or less. So we gave up the 5th and 6th we gave up the 4th and 5th for the 5th and 6th. So it wasn't exactly the way John Schneider described it. It wasn't 1 for 1, like in exactly the same place. But it was close enough for John Schneider to say, you know what, we like it because we're getting Sam Howell. I would have been pissed if it was any higher. And when you look at what 102 is back end of the 3rd, early 4th. And and see, this is the other thing Seattle are doing. Grandizer makes a good point. We're playing compensatory picks. Right. And we've got a handful of them at the moment, if it stands pat. It's more a compensatory pick you get when you're not getting a straight out compensatory pick, if that makes sense. It is without it is. So yeah, it's back end of the 3rd, early 4th. I've just come off a stream where Brandon's had to describe it to me 4 times. I hope it made sense, Grant. If it didn't, please keep asking me the questions in my head as well. So that's how I understood it through lots of reading, watching videos. But the good thing is the 12s are, for the most part, happy. There's always going to be, as you know, with your fandom, Tim, always going to be a few that are out on it, a few wanting Fields.
Oh yeah,
and you're not going to please all people all of the time. Me with Leonard Williams, prime example. But I think we got a sweet deal with it because he's going to be he's basically replacing Drew Lock. Now, is he Drew Lock? Hell no, because he's better than Lock, if that an easy way to make sense of it. He's the Drew Lock you are without being Drew Lock. And no disrespect to Drew. I love Drew very much, but yeah.
But he's an upgrade, is what you say.
Upgrade at this point. Well, he's not. You're not stepping down from a Drew Lock type of player in Sam Howell, I don't think. So
more close enough to an equal.
Slightly less than an equal, but he could become an equal. And exactly, yes. How? And this is the thing that have a lot of 12s who wanted Fields over Howell. So of course, with Justin Fields, he's a 6th at the moment. Conditionally, he can move up to a 4th if he plays 51% of the game, of the snaps. Now, according to everyone I've been listening to, like Good Morning America, Good Morning America.
Good morning, football.
Good Morning Football, is that who I mean? ESPN, NFL, there's no chance. There's no chance in hell he plays. Well, he got COVID too, Grant. Don't forget he had COVID right at the wrong moment. So there is a good chance that stays a 6th. And you look at what we gave up for Howell.
Yeah. No, if Russell Wilson goes ahead and plays exactly awful, then he could end up playing. I mean, if Wilson goes at,
if Wilson sucks more than he does, which I don't know how he could, but there's always a chance, I guess. Oh, damn, outside voice again.
Sorry.
Yeah, but what? Yes, to answer your question, yes. That is true. Good morning, Australia. I said good morning, Australia, right? That was a show in Australia, by the way. Grand, I have been on stream for 7 hours. You really want to take the... Yes. So Grand, sorry, Tim, I'll step back and answer this first. So when Pete was deciding who was going to start over Gino and Drew, between them, 3 days before the choice was made and 3 days before he was going out to a camp, Drew went down with COVID, which is why Gino was chosen. He took some time, obviously, to get over COVID, as you do. I've had it, and I had it 2 years ago, and I'm still dealing with it. So, of course, Pete, as you would, chooses Gino. So, Drew, I kind of felt sorry for him that I don't think, Pete made the only choice he could because he needed a QB and he needed one to start the season. And unfortunately, Drew, I think, took 3 weeks to get over the COVID. So he was behind the 8 ball from the start. Do I think if started? Probably not. I'd still think it would have been Gino. And I remember thinking, you're putting Gino over Drew. What the hell are you doing, Pete? But then, and I said it to Brandon, I was on the lock train so hard, but Gino turned me around, and now I have Gino's jersey hanging proudly in my wardrobe. So, yeah. So, yeah, I would have loved to have seen how Drew did, but I still think, thinking about it now, even though I wanted Drew as much as I did, it was always going to be Gino. So, I'm not upset. Could we have done better? Maybe. We could have done a hell of a lot worse. So, I'm at peace with it. Some of the 12 still want Gino gone. They do my head in. That's why I left early. Well, that and to annoy you and Tim, of course. Sorry, I meant visit. But, it is what it is. So, yeah, we got Hal, I think, of a pretty good deal. $7 million. No, was it? Yes, Hal, $7 million. No, that was the gentleman from Miami, which I think Baker from Miami. Finn loved it. fins down to any Miami fans, and sucks to be you that you lost him, because I spent the day watching tape of that kid, and he is awesome. So we got and I love what Seattle's done. The only one I'm out and will forever be out on, although he has 1 year to prove to me, is Leonard Williams. I think that was done out of desperation. I understood that it was going to be done out of desperation, but I've watched him since 2015 from USC and all stops to Seattle. Having said that, he's got 1 more year. He literally has this year to prove to me that I am wrong. And if I'm wrong about him, I will eat crow like I did with Gino and say I was wrong. But yeah, so I don't see it, but keep an open mind. That's sort of my mantra. But I love what Seattle has done. It has been brilliant. I love the George and Noah fans are here. I love Noah, not because it's my godson's name, but because, well, okay, maybe because it's my godson's name, who lives in Seattle now. But Tyler coming back, and let me have a look. I'm blanking on one other. Hang on, let me have a look in my diary. Who else? Jerome Baker, as I said. Sam Howell, Tyrell Dodson. That was the one that surprised me. So I don't understand why we re-signed Darryl Taylor either. But, I haven't seen Brendan Nelson's take on Baker yet. I do have some catching up to do with him. I've been talking to him about it on Twitch, various things, but yeah. And I get why the Finns didn't want to cut him, but we didn't want to cut Bobby, but he is aging. I would have loved to have had Bobby back, but we needed the space, sadly, to Leonard Williams, you son of a... Leonard Williams nearly gets me steamed as much as Russell Wilson, Tim, so I'm going to be here.
You're fine. I
don't know if he's a bum. Again, look, I bow to Brendan. I bow to Brendan and Brandon a lot. I don't always agree with Brendan. I don't always agree with Brandon, particularly over Leonard Wilson, and he thinks Dave Craig is a better quarterback than Jim Zorn. That is a whole different rant. That's a rant that's been going on ever since I've known him. But again, I actually liked Baker in Miami, and I get why they didn't want to cut him. I was a little surprised he came to Seattle, though. But yeah, that's it. Literally, you got Brooks. My condolences. Excuse me. Sorry, I something caught in my throat, Tim. I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, like how pick swap. Yes. I'm not happy that Bobby went, but the more I look at it, the more it makes sense. I've always loved Bobby. If Tyler had gone, I would have been starting the goddamn one person riot and going to Seattle and burning the place down.
Disclaimer, those are only words. We do not go ahead.
I don't have the time to. No. Yeah. But
we don't encourage people to. We don't encourage arson here.
I was going to say we do not encourage or condone riot, disturbing the peace, civil disturbances, arson, or carnage.
Yep.
The only carnage I want to see.
Unless you're going to light a fire under your ass and get moving.
Correct.
As far as your team.
Or if we're lighting a fire under the Kraken's ass at the moment because they are sucking lemons badly, or the fire is at Lumen Field because the Seahawks are smoking everyone, including and especially the Lions. Sorry.
Hey, Bob, wait, what?
Oh, sorry, inside voice.
Inside voice. Uh,
Yeah,
you
some do
just
blame. Oh, sorry, Tim. Sorry.
yeah,
Sorry.
you just bring up the outside voice of me when you diss my team like that.
Yeah, but you've been using your outside voice too, Tim.
I know, but you just got. I mean, when you're dealing with a maniac, it just kind
Look,
of
if maniacs
coming
are
out.
not, Tim, I've got to tell you, if maniacs are not using their outside voices inside, they are not. I ask you, are they truly maniacs? I just say no to that, sir. I dispute that they're maniacs. Yes, Brooks was a sneaky pick. Oh, wow, you got to be so careful how you say that on stream.
Yeah, really.
Oh, be very careful. Yeah, I'm again another player you hope did well, kind of in the mold of LJ Collier, that were picks that were reaches a lot of times. And as I said to you before, the mind-blowing head scratches, you're thinking, what? That's what I said, because that's how we speak in Australia. We don't murder the language any more than you do. Because God knows, most days when I talk to Americans, depending what part of the country they're from, I need freaking subtitles and still idiots. Love you, Grant. But the fact that you told me I was a Cards fan because I love the Birds, I should just ask him to slap you on my behalf. Just so you know, Grandizer, my younger brother loves the Cardinals. He got, as I said to Tim, he got the 3 a.m. phone call from Seattle when the Cardinals.
Those are fighting words for Megan here.
Brooks had a good year last year. Was it sort of his best year? I'm just trying to think. Possibly. I don't know if I would say outright that it was his very best year. It was a better year than he had. It was, I think I would say last year for Brooks, it was reasonable. It wasn't a brilliant year, but it wasn't a pathetic Russell year. Oh, whoops. Sorry, Tim. I said the naughty R word again. So it was sort of, yeah, it could have been better, but it could have been worse. And I mean, let's face it, every player has those years that are better than some.
Spreading the hate for Russell Wilson.
That's not hate. It is loathing. Get it right, Tim. It is a loathing that matches the 9 depths of hell. Okay? And that's not even close to how much I dislike that fool. And I said fool, not the other F word, although both fit just as well as the other. So, yeah, he had a good year. Could have been better, could have been worse, I think, Grant. That's all I'll say. No, but if you keep it up, I'll put a boot to yours, Grant. And that is with 2 badly damaged ankles. I would still kick yours from here. I was thinking of the one that begins with F and ends in UCK, you know, fire truck. Yeah, so, I mean...
Beep, beep. Oh, that's a bad beep.
Beep, beep, back that up, sunshine. Yeah, but I'm really glad Tyler's back. Would have liked Bobby back, as I said, but realistically, the more I look at Bobby, it had to happen that way, which is sad, but you know, it happens. I'm really glad Noah Fant's back. Really glad. Still working out Leo and Daryl Taylor. It makes no sense, but it is what it is. And that's how I'm sort of consoling myself, Tim. It is what it is, as my grandmother would have said. You know, you can't change it. So,
You gotta make
yeah,
the best of it, right?
exactly. Was Wagner a free free agent, or did he get cut? He went to free agency. He is his own manager, and no, he did not get cut because I believe from memory, his cap hit would have been around $24 million if he was cut. And unlike Denver, we weren't paying that. So no, he went to free agency and is now, where is he? Washington. So we kind of did another swap with Washington. We get Howe, they get Wagner, and our swap. No, it wasn't a swap with Wagner, but yeah. So yes, and that's another thing. People are now saying that the Legion of Boom will be rebuilt. I love the LOB, but I hope it's not. That was one of a kind, you know, generational players. Yes. And we weren't saying no. But Bobby, as I said, and I didn't know this till Brandon told me, was his own manager. And no, he was a free agent, but he also doesn't have a manager. He negotiates on his own behalf.
Yeah. Well, that's what we call them, agents over here.
Oh, agents. Sorry.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. It's
sorry,
fine.
sorry, you're right. Sports
Mhm.
agents, managers of actors and whatnot. Sorry. Yes. Did they overpay? I'm trying to think. I didn't think they did for what. Maybe slightly. It depends what you mean. Legion of Boom when Seattle was brilliant. Can we get? Yeah, the Legion of Boom. Yes, I saw that on a T-shirt on eBay, and it's like, damn! I wish I'd have thought of that. That's clever. Yes.
And we all know that Megan's favorite team in the AFC is the Kansas City Chiefs, right?
Oh, the Swifties or the Mahomies. Which version of that team? No, I'm the Santa Claus coached Chiefs, because let's face it, that's who Andy Reid reminds us all of, is cuddly Santa Claus. I love Andy Reid. He's granddad Andy.
Actually, he kind of reminds me of the banker, and except less refined, the banker and Monopoly.
Great Uncle Moneybags? No, he is not Great Uncle Moneybags.
I said less refined. Less refined.
How do I know that's his name? I collect Monopoly sets. If he had Tim, I take that back. If he had a monocle, so one glove and a top hat and cane, actually, I take it back. I see that. No, we didn't have the room for him, and sadly, no. But I know a lot of 12s have said that next year we will, and what I think will happen, or when he retires, is he will come back to Seattle for a one-day contract and then retire. So he will still essentially retire a Seahawk, if that makes sense. That's what we did with who was it? Was it Marshawn? We've done it a few times. So he'll come back.
In a one-day contract and just...
one-day contract, sign the contract, have the photos, and then say, I'm out. We just couldn't afford him with what we needed to do. Paul Allen Bear is not a drop bear. You are a drop kid, but he is not a drop bear. He's looking at you, shaking his head, grand eyes, and going, no, I'm not. No, I am not, because I'm not a freaking koala. Koalas are called drop. No, koalas are called drop bears, because if you're standing under a tree that they are under and they don't want you there, they will drop on your head. Well, the 49ers better get the checkbooks out and cut a few players, if that's to happen, because Bobby will retire. John Schneider pretty much said that what I just said about the one-day contract will be how Bobby goes out. And the 49ers can suck a lemon because I don't really care what they think. I never have. Well, no, that's not true.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, right.
Joe Montana, Joe Montana, Joe Montana. Joe Montana. And Jerry Rice, before I learned the story of how he got to wear the 80 in Seattle.
But what about the stickers on his hand?
Which was basically he stole it off Steve Largent after Steve Largent had it retired, but I'll tell you that later.
But then there's also where Jerry Rice admitted that he played with stickers on his hand.
Oh, yeah, that is when I got a little upset with Jerry taking the 80 when he revealed. I didn't care that he wore stickum. I did not care about that. But the fact that he took Steve's number, and Steve himself said, I never wore that. I never wore anything sticky on my gloves. It was just my hand. Or he didn't wear gloves. Steve Largent never wore gloves. That's when I got offended that he took the 80. Not that he took it. If he hadn't worn the stickum and sort of
publicized that everybody, he said everybody did, and
they probably did, but if you understand who Steve Largent is and why the number 80 is like the 12 in Seattle and the 96 for you know, one of those revered numbers, particularly in Seattle, where Steve had 14 years, held all of the records until DK Metcalf beat them recently.
Yeah, well,
that's why a lot of 12s, when he said that, took offense to him wearing the 80, which, as I said, is like one of our.
It's like desecrating.
And because
sacred, something sacred,
it is. And if you go to Lumen and see where our retired jerseys are, the 12 is in the middle, and the one directly to the right is the 80. Is the 80. And I think on the left was the 96. It was 96 for Cortez Kennedy, or it might have been the other way around. And that's when I took offense. Not that he wore stickum. Hey, whatever helps you. I don't agree with stickum and those sort of artificial aids to help you catch a ball. You should be good enough to catch it yourself, but that's fine.
Well, and to me, it's also like where, I mean, there's no way that Brady didn't know. If the balls were deflated, there's no way the quarterback or the receiver throwing did not know. Because, I mean, that's one knock about. That's one knock against Brady. I mean, they had the great wins, but really, how many wins would they have had if they want to use those extra?
Well, to me, okay, I'm 48, so I'm an adult. That's what you think. But my thing with sport is, what does it show the children that want to play these and be like Tom Brady or Jerry Rice or whoever? Now, I'm not a prude. You do what you have to do to get ahead, to get the contract, whatever. But there are things that I draw the line in. As I said, Jerry wearing the 80 was already bad enough because he wore it in Seattle after Steve had retired. And I think the jersey hadn't retired yet, but was going to be retired, I think. So that's bad enough for me as a Seattle fan and a Steve Largent fan. Then to come out and brazenly say, I wore the 80 while I was using stickum, which Steve never did because he didn't need to because he was that good. That's when I went, really? So you wear one of our next to the 12, if not the most revered number, one of them because it's hanging from the rafters, it's been retired, and you're essentially. Hello there. Oh, sorry, that was my. Oh. But essentially, you're cheating while wearing that revered number. Yeah, that doesn't work for me. And maybe I'm a prude. I'm very much a traditionalist. But it's like, that's just wrong to me.
Yeah. One thing that has changed, especially with the way money is in football and stuff like that, and in all sports, is that you know fair play has been kind of put to side in some sense because I mean, as far as for where even with you get away with a penalty, you did, teach certain tactics are taught to make it look like other teams are causing penalties that ain't.
Well,
The fair play in a lot of ways, and not I mean, it's not as extreme as
well,
wearing
I watch
stickums and
cricket.
stuff like that, but
Okay, being Aussie in summer, it's all about cricket for
mm-hmm,
me. And there are 42 laws of cricket, not rules. And there's the
mm-hmm,
preamble. But the 42nd law, so it's the last one in the law book, is the spirit of fair play. Now, in cricket, that is the most important law ever. They have awards for players that uphold that. And that's the spirit of fair play. You play fair but hard. If you disagree, you take it off the field. All those things.
right.
And because I started playing cricket when I was like 10. I haven't played because I'm blowing out my ankles. So to me, that's sort of where I place fair play.
Right.
Now, to me, stickum is not fair play.
Oh, no,
I'm not
no.
going to call it cheating, but I'm not going to say it's fair, because if it was fair, everyone would do it.
Right.
Now,
and it would be in the rules. It would really be in the
rules. Like in cricket, we have strict dimensions for the bat, for the balls, for the wickets, for the size of the field. Cricket score, okay, so a run is a unit in a cricket score. So 1 run is called a single, 2, 4, 6. So that is the unit of scoring, I guess. So a run is, so if you score 6 runs, you've scored 6 runs. Cricket is the worst game to try and explain to an American because it is so complicated, but to me it's second nature. So yeah, 10 is a chirp. I've not heard of that. So to give you a piece of history, so cricket is a very superstitious game. Very superstitious. So 13 is, of course, not a good number. But 87 in Australia and the UK is considered very unlucky. Why?
No clue. Why?
Because 87 is 13 runs away from 100, which is called a century and is very hard to get in cricket.
Okay.
111 is called Lord Nelson's number, which again is superstitious. If your team is on 111, you don't. Wrong cricket, Grandizer, not the instinct. If you are facing, so batting with the bowler bowling to you, there's a little hop, step, and a jump most players will do when they realise the score is on 111. There was a very famous umpire named David Shepherd who would do the same thing. So, it's very complicated. I can give you the laws. I've done umpiring where I learnt the laws, but I could not make you understand unless you've seen it or played it yourself. So, yeah. I think
so our next week's session is we're going to start a introductory lesson to cricket.
Oh,
taught solely by Megan.
It's actually the laws of cricket have just been, and that's the other thing.
Yeah.
The laws of cricket, when they're updated, can take 12 to 14 years to update.
Wow.
Because there are committees in London. So I'm not sure if you've heard of Lord's Cricket Ground in London. That's Thomas Lord bought the land for the cricket ground. It is the home of cricket, called the home of cricket. They hold the copyright, and there's about 7. Yes, Fat Man, that is exactly it. There are 7 committees that the laws have to go through to be changed.
Don't you mean Fan Man?
Yep, that Fan Man, you got it.
You said Fat Man.
Oh, did I say Fat Man? Well, sorry. Fan Man. Tim, you're already
No,
dead to me.
I was just I knew it was a mistake, so I just was trying to point it out that you wouldn't call him fat. You know, it was just.
I saw Fat Man. Dad, apologies. The best way to learn about cricket is to go to the ICC, which is the International Cricket Council. It's icc.org, Grandizer, and you will learn the laws. You will watch cricket from Lords in the English summer. Cricket.com, what is it? Cricket Australia, which is cricket.com.au, is the best one because it does all Australian teams. So it does state cricket, it does Big Bash cricket, which I love, which is 2020. It is women's cricket, it's school cricket. So probably the one I would say, or the two, if you want to have a look, and I don't expect you to really, is cricket, and I'll put them in the links. Cricket, I'm just trying to think what it is. Cricket.com, oh, if I can spell. Cricket.com.au, which is Aussie cricket, and the ICC, which is the national. Oh, hang on. Cricket.com.au. Oh, hang on. But yeah, cricket.com.au and the ICC, which is icc.org, will be the best ones. But yeah, Fan Man's got it right. You try to explain it to anyone who's never played it, and they just look at you blankly. I stopped playing about 20 years ago due to blowing ankles, but I would still probably play if I could. But yeah.
I'll be right back, guys.
Which F word, Grandizer? You're causing me to want to say all the F words. I think that's. Yeah, rugby's a grand. Rugby is another game I have loved my whole life. I am an Australian, but I absolutely love the New Zealand All Blacks, and have several All Blacks jerseys hanging in the closet. Yeah, so he should mute himself so we don't actually hear that, Grandizer. But yes, rugby. I mean, I can. Well, as you know well, Grand, I can talk about most sports. There's very few sports that I don't watch.
Thanks.
The All Blacks don't need to cheat, Grand. The All Blacks are the only team to have been best in the world 3 times. So, and we've not cheated to do that. The Australians cheat. The Wallabies, which is the Australian men's team, cheat to try to beat us. So, But yeah, there's probably not many sports that I wouldn't watch or at least keep an eye on. The only ones are the blood sports like UFC and boxing that I'm not really into. But yeah, they're the very few that I. Oh, and soccer, which I really annoy my English friends by calling soccer and not football. Football. I'm sorry, I just cannot bring myself to call it football. Soccer, I'd watch it very rarely. Yeah.
What about NASCAR? Are you into NASCAR?
I'm into Formula One more than NASCAR.
Okay.
But if you put it this way, Tim, if you had NASCAR on and I was staying, visiting your house, I would not walk past it and say, "Turn that crap off." I'd probably I would probably sit and watch it. Watch it with you. But I guarantee you, if you had Formula One on your television, I am parking myself there all day watching Formula One with you. I love the cars. I love the drivers. Yeah. Yeah. So, what did you think of rugby, Grant? I think it's a more brutal sport than American football, and this is not slighting American football, but rugby players do not wear pads. They do not wear helmets. And the reason they don't wear shoulder pads is because a guy damn nearly got decapitated by someone tackling him and trying to take his pads off his body without actually undoing them. And yeah, he got a rather nasty. I think he ended up paralyzed, but had a very nasty neck injury. So we don't wear the pads and helmets. Yeah. So
is rugby and Australian rules football the same thing?
No, that's two different games. So
Okay.
Rugby, as I said, is if you watch, say, the World Cup and you're watching the All Blacks and the Wallabies, for example. So that's New Zealand and Australia. Where AFL is it from? The All Blacks have been good since 1987. They have been beaten. As I said, we've won the World Cup 3 times. No other team has done that. But the All Blacks have been beaten last World Cup, which was last year. We got beaten in the semi-final. So the All Blacks can be beaten. I have shed many tears when they have been. So AFL started in Melbourne, Australia. We now have teams in Perth. Did have teams in Perth. We've got them in Brisbane, so Queensland, Sydney, mostly Melbourne. Yeah, different sides football. They jump more and pass with their hands instead of both hands. They hit and pass. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's true, Fan Man. My brother had a very severe concussion that nearly killed him. And as a neuroscience student, I don't mind helmets. But if you get a head knock and your brain is shaking around a helmet, the helmet often, and I won't say all the time, can do more damage to the brain. Now, having said that, you get hit without a helmet, you can also do more damage to the brain. If my brother's brain hit his head, the side of his skull, half an inch more, he was dead before he hit the ground. So, yeah, and I am glad now that those hits with the helmets have been outlawed in American football. CTE frightens me when you hear another young player has gone down with it. Granddaughter, I actually do watch American rugby. Seattle, the Seawolves in Seattle play rugby, and my brother gets it on his TV, so I go to his place and says, "Don't talk to me. I'm watching rugby." It's not popular, but it's like cricket in America. Rugby, actually, the Crusaders, which is my favourite New Zealand team, played in LA just recently, and they got full houses. So it's a lot. It's to do in Canada, at least. I know I've got friends in Canada that play rugby, and they said it's a lot of the expats, the English, the Irish, from the UK go over to work or whatever, or to live, and they bought rugby. That Canada also has a reasonable cricket team, not brilliant, but that's 3/4 Indian. So yeah, I could and do watch rugby all day. Down the end of my street is my local rugby team's ground, and most Saturdays, if they're playing at home, I will definitely go and watch rugby. I've seen the Maori All Blacks, which is their Indigenous team, play, and had the Maori Kamate Haka roared at me, like sitting in the stands from probably 200 feet away, and it was spine tingling. My brother and I were in All Blacks jerseys surrounded by Australians cheering for the Maoris, so yeah. But no, rugby's a good game. Rugby is a great game. Dangerous game, violent game, but I would say hockey is no more violent than American football, or ice hockey. I would say is more violent if you look at some of the big hits into the glass playing hockey. So yeah, but anyway.
So would you say contact or collision sport?
For hockey or rugby?
Both of them.
Hockey is full collision.
Okay.
Because I have a shirt from Seattle that for the Kraken that says, "If I am belting your face against the glass, it means I love you." And if you've seen the Kraken, our goalie, God bless him, yesterday, Phil Grubauer took his stick and pushed the player back, and you see the clip, and the player's head, oh, not his head, but his shoulders just bounce off the ice. And the German German is or the German gentleman, I should say, is his nickname, and he is the softest teddy bear you've seen, but this guy bounced. Rugby is full contact. There are collisions, tackling at speed, but I think out of the two, hockey is full collision. It is full body contact. But yeah, rugby, I would say bit of both, but probably full contact. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I do that when I laugh.
Oh, I've laughed so hard I've had an asthma attack, Rand. You haven't heard me laugh that hard. I've laughed so hard I've thrown up. Usually when talking about the lion. Never mind.
Hey, what? You deserve to be slapped for that one.
You dissed the 12s, my brother. You said the Lions were louder than the 12s. Yeah, because you're in a dome.
And I gave credit that we were in a dome and you were in an open air stadium. What I was saying about the Kingdom was way back.
The Kingdom is in the 70s.
Oh, I mean, it's way back. I know. So, yeah, but you're right. We were in the dome. We were in the dome. And that makes a big difference.
I have heard stories about the Kingdom. I'm 4 months younger than the Hawks, so I never got to see them. But, of course, as I said to you yesterday, Tim, Lumen Field is on the site of the Kingdom. And that's why Paul Allen built it there. Well, it's because it was the Kingdom. And our throwbacks, so last year, our beautiful throwbacks had a patch of the Kingdom on the collar at the back.
Oh wow!
So if you look, because that was our throwbacks were from the year the Kingdom came down, I think, or they wanted to do something to pay tribute to the Kingdom, and they put a little embroidered patch, where like your tags are and all of that. And it was the Kingdom, and they put one at the front there with the V at the neck of the Kingdom. So, yeah. But I don't care what anyone says. Seattle wins throwbacks every year. I've got a few of them, and our throw. You've got to do well to beat our throwback.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, it is. So Paul Allen, of course, aside from being the Bears' namesake, was the co-founder of Microsoft. And when the team was being threatened to move by Ken Behring to California, Paul Allen stepped in and bought the team. There was a few other things he did. He wanted the fans to have a say and whatnot. But one of those things was that the Kingdome was falling down. Pieces of the roof were falling, and it was deemed appropriate that a new stadium would be created. So what Paul Allen did was designed Lumen Field. He brought in acoustic engineers. He brought in architects. Yeah, paid top dollar for all these things. But the design of Lumen Field is based on Husky Stadium, or the old Husky Stadium. So not the one where UW play now, but the one where Paul would go with his father, who was a librarian at UW, to watch the Huskies back in the day. And that is why we have Lumen Field. Last year it was named fan favorite NFL stadium. I reckon all the 12. I reckon every 12 voted at least 10 times on that to make that happen. But I judge not, because I was one of them. And you know, what I love about Lumen is when I was there, I got to sit under the 12's flag. So you know, the big flag, the 12 that I had on my background. That was something Paul also did, was to thank the fans. So I saw that raised by one of my favourite players, Sean Alexander, who went into our Ring of Honour that day. Yeah, so there's what I love about the Seahawks, as I've said to you, Tim, is we are not just fans. We are the 12s. As I've said, we are the only team to have a jersey retired. We're the only ones to make the ground shake and have previously held 3 world records for sound. I want to say it's a tribe, it's a community, but it's more than that. 68,000 fans screaming, myself included, and I lose hearing for 3 weeks with earplugs in my right pocket. I just can't believe. But I'm sure. I'm not sure that there's a lot of fan bases who do that. I guess maybe Chiefs Army, maybe the Skull Army.
Well, at one time, the NFL the refs threatened to go ahead and give Detroit a penalty on sports because of what the fans, because the fans were cheering so loud in the Silver.
And we had that happen in the Kingdome, and they wanted the 12s to settle down and be quiet. The 12 said, "Oh, hell no to that," and got louder.
Yep.
And every time the whistle blew, they got louder. But that's what I mean about being a 12. Like, it's so hard. It's so hard to, Fan Man talked about trying to explain cricket. I also try to explain to a non-12 what it is to be a 12. We had 1 million people in the street for our Super Bowl parade. And a lot of them probably wouldn't have even known who the Seahawks were. Well, there would have been a good portion of them that did.
Right.
But so many more. I would have killed to be in Seattle that day. That would have been brilliant. But how many more wouldn't have known? We can get 8,000 people to our training camps at VMAC, which is at Renton, which is our training facility. We can get 15,000 to our scrimmage game in the preseason at training camp at Lumen. Wow. Now, I am not saying that no other fan base can do that. because I'm sure the Lions, you get your crowds in for camp as well.
Right.
For me, to try and explain what it is to be a sports fan in Seattle, I was in Seattle when the M's were making their playoff run 2 years ago.
Okay.
And the Airbnb I stayed in had a view of T-Mobile and Lumen. So the day I fly in, I've got no internet connection. I don't know what's going on with the M's because I haven't had a chance to look. There are fireworks going off at T-Mobile. And I said, oh, yes, playoffs. I texted a friend saying, what's happening with the M's? And their quote to me was, you must have just gotten to Seattle and haven't heard the M's have made the playoffs. Now, we haven't done that in 25 years. So you had the sound, so you had the Kraken playing, you had the M's making a playoff run, and you had the Seahawks and the Sounders, I think, were playing at the same time. So everywhere I walked in Seattle, if I wasn't seeing a Kraken flag, I was seeing a 12s flag. If I wasn't seeing a 12s flag, good chance I'd be laying eyes on an M's flag.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be wearing my jerseys and people would yell, go Hawks, or I'd be wearing my M shirt, go M's. And that's the city. And that is why I love Seattle as much as I do. And I love the sports teams because it's not just the individual fan bases. The Kraken came into being in 2019. 32,000 people, myself included, became members in 24 hours for our new team. We did not know we didn't even have a name, I don't think, at that point for the Kraken. We didn't know who our head coach is. It's Dave Haxtell. We knew nothing except there was a hockey team coming to Seattle and we wanted in. That is why the Kraken fan group is the Squid Squad for the Kraken and the 32s, like the 12s for the 32,000. Like even in Australia, who is known as a passionate sporting country, I'd never seen anything like that. And that's why I love, as I've said, why I am known as the Aussie 12. Sometimes for non-fans, I have to explain the whole 12 thing. But why I love all Seattle sports. I don't care if it's pickleball in the damn park. I'll be in for a game. I played chess at the park with the Mariner Moose. I beat him twice. He was not impressed. The fact I was wearing a Vin Scully LA Dodgers jersey also may have helped that, but we don't talk about that. But, it's just such a beautiful... And let's not forget, Seattle is the home of Starbucks, and the coffee nerd in me loves that. So, I don't know what it's like with your fan base, team, but I love being a 12. I love being known as a 12.
Well, I know, especially this year, the fans were just totally. There was something different this year, and I mean, they were going from city to city, state to state, to all these all these other road games. Yeah, they went at so there was the fans were just, but I mean, being so bad for so many years, it has hurt the fan base in Detroit.
It does,
and now
it absolutely does, and that shows you how passionate a fan base you have. I know for a 10 a.m. game in Seattle on a Sunday, which is Monday my time, I am up at 4 a.m. Now, when we're winning, I don't mind that because it's like, hey, let's go. But 2 years ago, no, that was when I was in Seattle. The year before that, 3 years ago, it was a chore to get up and watch the Seahawks get beaten again. Now, some days, depending who we're playing, it can be a chore. But I don't mind it as much, particularly this coming year. I will be up at. I probably won't go to bed most Sundays for Monday.
Right.
And my mother says you have insomnia. You are getting into bad habits again. No, it's called being at 12 and doing this shit. And yes, I do have insomnia. So, I think there are times when it will. The Australian bull ant, Gran, do you mean the fire ant that bites you and makes you feel like wherever you're bitten is on fire? Because that shit hurts. It literally does. The ant will bite you, and you will feel like you are on fire. Hence the fire ant name. The bull ant, they're nasty buggers, but not as nasty. So,
yeah. Oh yeah, and before I forget, the current status of the Pontiac Silverdome, it was imploded. It does not exist anymore. But
okay.
One last, it took them 2 times to actually get it down, because when they first tried to destroy it, it stood up. So they had to bring in much more dynamite and stuff like that to get the thing to go down.
If you ever watched, I read Paul Allen's book called ID Man, and he talks about the implosion of the kingdom and how they measured where the dynamite had to go. And he was the one to press the button on the implosion. But he said he could not do it. He literally could not bring himself to do it until his sister was going to take the button out of his hand. He actually had several panic attacks. And his sister, Jody, who is now our owner, said, if you don't do it, Paul, I'll do it for you. And he's like, no, I'll do it, and hit the button. But he had, I think he said 3 or 4 panic attacks before his sister's like, I'm happy to do it if you can't do it. And he's like, no, I have to do it. So hurry up and do it. And she was literally going to take it out of his hands to do. So is there anything on the side of the old dome there?
No, because it was in, no, it's, because Pontiac Silverdome was in Pontiac, Ford Field is in Detroit. And one of the things, it wasn't a good breakup, because the Pontiac Silverdome had the lease for the Lions and stuff like that, and the lease was so un-team friendly. I mean, Lions got nothing for parking or anything like that. All concessions and stuff like that. So Detroit found a way to break the lease.
Right.
And they moved back in. The Fords actually, William Clay Ford actually built the built the Ford Field himself, and stuff like that. Moved it back to Detroit.
So the Fords, hence the name Ford Field, paid for the field out of their money. That's not a business thing or anything.
Right, it was they paid for it out of their money. Of course, I think they did sell seat license and stuff like that, but
okay.
But and actually this year was the first year, or last year was the first year that Ford Field sold out all their season tickets.
I got a feeling Seattle might be. I got a feeling Seattle might be tracking to. I don't.
Hey, how's it going, Jeremy?
I might be surprised if Seattle starts selling out season tickets again. I think we've gotten last couple of years to 85%. Tell you what, if I could get to Seattle more regularly than I do, because I've got seats for the Kraken as well, which I'm giving to friends.
Well, can you just go ahead and hitchhike? I mean, you're not that.
I could swim. Hey, Jaws is one of my favorite movies. I wonder. Oh no, Bruce got blown up at the. Spoilers if you haven't seen Jaws. If you haven't seen Jaws, spoilers, the shark gets it. Yeah,
That's
I
it.
don't like flying, Tim. So that is so
Oh,
true.
so in other words, you don't take your broom, huh? Oh no, I didn't just say that.
Hey, I'm going to shove my broom up your butt if you keep that up, kid.
I'm sorry. The devil made me do it. Okay.
No, no, I am something that sounds like witch, but has a B at the beginning of that word.
Oh shoot! I just had to say
No,
that.
I know.
I just,
I would have listen. I would have been deeply offended and upset if you didn't say that line, Tim. So no problem.
oh boy.
Actually, Tim, to be honest, I expected it from Grand, but it came from you, so it works out.
Hey, we're in good company.
Hey, equal opportunity sledging. I'm all for it, my brother. I am all for it. And I mean, your life sucks because you're a Lions fan. Oh, wow. Again with the
Well,
outside voice.
yeah, but now
You're allowed what?
it's
You're allowed.
we're improving for sure.
Well, you're not
I mean,
going
they're
backward.
right,
You're not going backward, son.
and we're just gonna keep on and improving, and then finally we're gonna get
You
that
couldn't go any
Super
more
Bowl.
backward. Hey, listen, if you go any further backwards, you're going to end up in Antarctica. So
Okay,
the
just
only way
because
is
we
up.
were the first team to go 0-16, okay, and
Yeah, okay, fair, fair, fair. Um,
I, uh, and this one guy at work he's a Lions fan, and he was kind of like that they got something. It's like, no, why would you want to be why would you want to be recognized for being the worst team in football? You know, uh, Seattle.
I'm not sure how you get that knee because we're rebuilding our secondary at the moment. Well, hang on. At first glance, yes, but do not be surprised if. No, actually, no. I'm going to wait till the draft. Scored 72. Hang on a minute. My mum's calling. I'll be back in a sec.
Oh, okay. Score 71. All right. Pretty soon you guys might have to score 70 to win. Wow. Adams and Diggs gone at safety. Well,
Yes, that is true, and I fail to see how that's going to be a problem for us. Well, yeah. If I had to choose one to keep, I'm choosing Quandre just, but Jamal Adams, let's face it, kneecap, probably should have been gone 4 years ago. The only reason he's gone now is because we didn't have to take a cap hit for him. And as I've said to Tim, I can fall over cordless telephones and trip on cracks in the pavement and hurt myself. But Jamal Adams has got me beat 50 times over. So I liked Jamal. I wish it could have been better for him, but we've actually got our two safeties organised. So you might want to keep up. We've got our two new safeties in place. I think we are looking for a yeah, I will trash the Lions because Tim is trashing the Seahawks and just as much, and it's all in good fun. So yeah, but we also, as I've just said to you, have our two safeties in place. So I'm failing to see how it's going to work out badly for us. Yes, and you're quite correct, Diggs was, but Diggs is no longer in Seattle. So I'm failing to see. I'm sure you've got a point there, Kneecap. I can't see it at the moment, but please, I'm happy to discuss with you. But you might want to keep up and see what we've done to replace those two. But as I said, please let's have a discourse about this because Tim, I'm happy to discuss it. But yes, he was, and you say that like I don't know that, Kneecap. So I'm trying to work out your point here, but well, yes. Now I will pay. I will pay that is a statement of fact. But you're saying that we haven't got safeties, and we have. So yes, that is a very good point. But there's no guarantee that they will start. Well, no, one of the two will start. Which one that is, we're still deciding. So, as I said, please continue to make your point. And, yeah, I agree with that, Kneecap. You're not telling me anything I don't know. So, we've got them. Yeah, and I totally agree with that. So, next. Sorry, Tim. No. Nee's not telling me anything I don't know about our safeties, because that is an area of concern for us. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeremy is his name. Just so you know, Megan.
Oh, Jeremy. Sorry. Sorry, Jeremy.
Yeah. Kneecap is his.
I do like the name Kneecap Biting. I do like that, though. That's a great name, Jeremy. I thought that's what I heard you say, Tim, but I didn't want to say it in case it wasn't right. My apologies.
It's fine.
I didn't want to call him by the wrong name, because there's nothing worse than that. Because then the wrong name gets stuck in my head and I call him the wrong name. Well, you tell me, Jeremy. You seem to know more about the Seahawks than me, so please fill me in. Please tell me, Jeremy. You seem to know way more than I do, so fill me in. You see, Jeremy, I haven't looked at it yet, because there's a little thing you may have heard coming up. I don't know if he has, Tim. And again, I don't want to draw conclusions, called the draft. So I'm not drawing any conclusions about that yet until we go to the draft. So ask me after the draft and I'll let you know. Yeah, 17th. I thought we were 18th, Jeremy. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I thought, where did I get 18th from? So 12th in rushing, yes, I knew that, and 17th. Well, thank you, Jeremy. You've actually educated me, because I thought that was way lower. So thanks, mate. That's awesome to know.
Jeremy's real good at stats.
No. Yeah. I love this. When I say he's educating me, I'm not being a smart ass, Tim. I'm saying I actually thought we were 19th or 20th. So, hey, thanks, man. Yeah, and so the Lions ranked 3rd. So how did the Super Bowl go for you, Jeremy? Want to tell me? Yeah, you ranked 3rd, so you outranked us. Not hard last year. So how did the Super Bowl go for you? Don't think you were there. So yeah, okay, you've ranked 3rd. And but as I said, thank you for letting me know. For some reason, I don't even know I don't even know why I had 18 in my head, but I could have thought, but Jeremy's our stat analytics guy. Good to know.
But last year we did make it closer to the Super Bowl than you guys did.
Well, yes.
Although you guys did beat us. You guys did beat us. Yeah. I mean,
Kneecap, I didn't watch the playoffs because I was busy watching the Kraken. But my question remains, how did watching the Super Bowl go from your sofa as a Lions fan? So you keep throwing this out, but you haven't answered my questions yet. So I was actually watching the Seattle Kraken play their game that day. But again, you haven't answered me. So if you're going to throw this out at me, Jeremy, please answer my questions, or I'll just call you a gutless loser for not answering. So, your choice. But yes, to answer that, I was watching the Kraken. So, well, my condolences for your loss, but don't come at me with these statistics and, how was it watching the playoffs? So yes, and as I said, my extreme condolences. So don't come at me with these statistics and trying to be a smartass, because it's not going to work. And as I said, I'm sorry for your loss. So come at me with something more than what's it like watching. Yes, because did you hear what Tim said first? So yeah, so if you're going to come at me, maybe listen to the whole conversation. And as I said, my sincere condolences for your loss. Actually, Tim did. So if you're going to correct me, I have no problem with being. Well, exactly. But to answer your question about the Super Bowl, in all honesty, Jeremy, I was so over the Taylor Swift BS. As I said, I absolutely was not, and I'm probably going to get kicked out of the 12s for it, Jeremy. But I was, I'll whisper it to you, Jeremy. I was going for the Niners because I'm over the Taylor Swift nonsense.
Wait, what?
Oh, nothing, Tim. Sorry.
What?
Jeremy can tell you if he wants to. Jeremy, it's up to you, Jeremy. If you want to tell him what I just said to you in private, that's all good. But yeah, I didn't watch this. Oh, I think I watched.
I fell asleep during it.
Yeah, I did. Oh no,
I tried to watch it.
Let me check. Hang on, Jeremy. I found a comic called The Niners made the same mistake in the Super Bowl. As I said, I didn't watch it, and I know you didn't, Jeremy. What was that again? What did I miss? When was Super Bowl day?
February.
Well, hang on, I'm just looking for it in my diary. Yeah, you'd think they would have learned their lessons. Where are we? Yeah. Yes, I made the stupid mistake that the Seahawks made all season. Sorry, Jeremy. Yeah, you'd think we'd all learn our lessons from doing silly stuff like that, but we always, speaking as a Seahawks fan, of course, we always seem to do it. But hopefully that'll change now Pete's gone.
Yeah, when you quit running the ball.
But Jeremy, can I ask you? Sorry, Tim. Can I ask you an honest question, though, Jeremy? And how much of it? Yes, they did do that, but how much? I always hear Seahawks fans say that, the refs are against us. The refs are against us. And that's a discussion for another day. But do you think the narrative was the Chiefs have to win because of Taylor Swift or not? I'm interested to hear what you think, Jeremy. I have my opinion on it, and I'm just interested to hear what other. No, I don't usually either, but that's what, and that makes sense. I don't either. But I'm saying the narrative and why I didn't watch it was because of the whole Taylor Swift nonsense, which I just was over. I'm just interested. Do you think that's why they stopped it? I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it's not. I like that. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I'm with you completely on the ref blame game, because I come from a country where if some of the reffing decisions made in American football would get referees fired in this country. So yeah, I'm not saying I disagree with you on that, Jeremy. I don't. But yeah, it's a good point. But yeah, it was interesting the third quarter. The third quarter change too, yeah.
Now, there are some times when the business side of the Super Bowl, you get to wonder some of the stuff.
Yeah, that's my point, Tim.
Of the NFL.
Yeah.
And for I mean, there are some. I mean, just like with some of your picks, you got to look at some of those calls. And then there are sometimes when the team. I mean, I've seen the Lions do it where the team just go ahead and lay egg and don't get the job done.
Yeah, the Hawks do it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just interested in your perspective too, Tim, but Jeremy's point is that good teams won't do that or put themselves in that position for it to happen. But then again, Tim, I take your point that it is a business, rightly or wrongly. Now, I'm not saying it's corrupt. I don't know, but some of the decisions sort of, again, leave you scratching your head and wondering, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
That's true. But it is actually getting pretty late. I do need to get some rest before work.
Yes, no problem. I need to go in and get some dinner. Always good chatting at you, Tim.
Mm-hmm. Thanks a lot, Megan. Thanks a lot, Jeremy. Thanks a lot, Grandizer.
Good to meet you, Jeremy. I'm not talking to Grandizer. He was making fun. I was making it straight back, and it's all good. But anyway, Tim, we will do this again at some point, no doubt.
Oh yeah, we will. And you can also check out Jeremy's stream every once in a while.
I was just about to say, does Jeremy have a link? Because I would like to have a look at his
stream. Here he is.
Well, hey, hello,
Jeremy,
Megan.
Good to meet you. Good to meet you. Sorry, I can't come on camera because I don't want to scare you. So.
Hey, that's okay. I don't get scared by pictures.
Oh, trust me. This one would take the hair off your... Never mind. No, I'm kidding.
Is it the same one that's in the profile picture in the chat?
Oh, dang. Yes, it is. You just
I've already seen you. I'm not scared. I came in.
Well, I don't know. I guess that's a compliment. No, I'm kidding, Jeremy. I am kidding.
There, I'll put my logo up too. How's that?
The only reason I put mine on, Jeremy, was because I froze with this ridiculous face.
Hey, that's okay. Hey, I only freeze when I sneeze.
Of course, then I get into coughing, especially when you guys get me laughing.
Grandizer, no, I did not create the avatar. A friend of mine, John M. Dell, did, who's a 12. That's what he thought I looked like, Jeremy. You've seen the picture. That's what
I saw the picture.
Yeah.
There.
Well, very nice.
Yeah, that's actually the people that own the paper I write for.
Okay, so are you in Detroit, Jeremy? Or
I am near Detroit. I'm in Flint, Michigan.
right? Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah.
So I write for the Motor City Tribune, which is owned by the South Florida Tribune.
Right. Okay. Cool.
I write about the NFL and the Lions, so I pay attention to all the free agency moves and
Yeah.
all that
No.
stuff.
As I said, for some reason, Jeremy, I thought we were 18th. I don't know where I got that from or why I so firmly.
No, rushing wise, you guys were decent. It was your passing defense that started failing, and it was due to the poor play from Adams and Diggs and those second-rate guys that had to come in when they were hurt. And this is something that I noticed when Diggs got there. I don't know if you noticed it, but the only time Diggs got interceptions is when he was out of position, and it was a bad throw.
Yes. And that was one thing that I loved Pete. I will say, Jeremy, that I loved Pete Carroll as a coach. I'm wearing a USC shirt because I loved him. But that drove us all insane was that he would play these people out of position, Diggs and others. And if
it wasn't for the if it wasn't for the quarterbacks making throws, it was either 5 yards in front of the receiver or 10 yards behind him. He'd never have a pick.
Right, and then wondering why it's not working. Well, genius, I'm not a coach. I've never played the game, but it's not going to work because guess what? He's out of position, So I'm glad somebody.
I think that the first year he was there, he had 6 interceptions and made a Pro Bowl, and I was like, for what? If those quarterbacks would have done their jobs, he'd have never got a pick.
Jeremy, let's face it, they were scraping the bottom of the barrel.
I know. They were. Hey, I loved it. The pick that we got from you, I think that turned into, that was our 6th round pick that year.
Yeah, who'd you get with the pick?
That was Tracy Walker.
Okay. Well, okay, cool.
I mean, granted, he's gone now, but guess what?
Yeah.
It's fine.
And how long did you have him for?
Let's see, that was the 2019 season's draft pick. So no, 18, right? Wasn't that Patricia's first year when
Yep.
So 2018, Tracy Walker, and we just cut him this year.
Wow. Okay, so you got your value and then some. But was he a starter though, Jeremy?
He was a starter for 4 straight seasons because James Ahedebo got hurt the first year he was here. And he took over starting from him. And then they decided to switch him to strong safety, which kind of hindered his development. The next year, he switched back to his natural position. And he ranked, what was it that first year with Campbell? Wasn't he ranked in like the top 15 of safeties, Tim?
Yeah, he was. Yep. Yeah,
and then he gets hurt. Then he severed Achilles tendon. And that's when we had a plethora of people going in and out. And then he came back last year and when Chauncey Gardner-Johnson got hurt, because, you're not going to start him over Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Let's face it.
No. Yeah.
But the secondary actually got better for about 5 straight games. Because of what I noticed, because the other guy didn't know the verbiage for the defense to communicate in the secondary. So communication is necessary for the secondary to play better. And it actually got better there for about 5-6 weeks, and then it fell apart.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh. So you definitely got your value and then some out of that pick, but by the sound of it, I mean, that is...
Yeah, he was the 6th round pick that year from that trade, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just trying to...
I remember where people were picked, and I got to think about what year it was and everything else.
I can remember last year and maybe the year before, but not 19, Jeremy. You're all over me, mate.
I told Tim, I think it was 2 weeks before the draft last year, I said the pick was going to be Devin Witherspoon at 6. He didn't like it. But when you guys picked Devin Witherspoon, it was obvious because within a minute of that happening, Brad Holmes strayed back.
Yes, I was on a streak. So because I'm in Australia, Jeremy, I stay up for the 3 days of the draft just because time differences suck. And yes, all on our Seahawks stream where like Lions just traded back, and we all said it's because they wanted Witherspoon. We've now got him. Yep,
Right.
yep.
Because the rumor was coming out of Seattle camp that came out from everybody is that you guys were taking Jalen Carter. But Pete Carroll, like Dan Campbell, heard all the bad stuff from the teammates at the pro day and said, yeah, not really.
Yeah, that's what
Right.
Jeremy, I'm also a Ravens fan, Seahawks then Ravens, and I had my Jim Zorn throwback and my Lamar Jackson jerseys over my chair, and I didn't put one on. I had a T-shirt on, and I said, right, which jersey I wear now will be dependent on if we take Carter at 9, because there was just something about that guy I didn't like. So when we took Witherspoon, I was like, right, okay, I can put the Seahawks jersey on now. Because I was ready, Jeremy, hand on heart, I was ready to leave Seattle, the fandom.
Wow, that coming from a 12th? That coming from a 12th? You were ready?
That's how far I was going to join the Ravens. I am just going to ignore Grandizer because I'm speaking to Jeremy, and unfortunately, Jeremy's head is just over that. So I'm looking at you, Jeremy, ignoring the comment. I dislike Carter. I couldn't even tell you why at the time. I mean, there was all the off-field stuff, but I wasn't upset that we didn't get him, but
and neither was I. Ask Tim. I was dead set against it.
Yeah, but did you know the reason why you were against it, Jeremy, or you just knew that you didn't want it?
No, character issues, 100%.
Yeah, I think that's what it was for me too.
That, and when you heard from the teammates that was talking at the pro day, because NFL Network goes live there, and you can hear him talking. Yeah, he's not that much of a practice guy. That's one thing Campbell's big at. If you're at practice, you're going to view the practice. And I was like,
Okay, this is interesting. Yeah, and John Schneider later said that it was the character concerns because, you raise a hand to a woman, you hit a child, you're not going to ever be a Seahawk, which I think is fair enough.
You walk away from a car wreck where your teammate died.
Right.
Thank you, Jeremy. I was about to say it, but yeah, exactly.
No, go ahead. You can say it because it's been documented he did it.
Yeah. But the thing is, Jeremy, I was pretty much laughed out of our chat saying exactly the way you said it just there. Oh, we don't need to worry about that because, that's all not on the field.
And if you look at the first half of the season when they had the good defensive coordinator there, he had 4.5 sacks and he was looking every bit as good as everybody said. Then they take the calling duties away from that coordinator and gave it to our old coach, Matt Patricia. And what do? They win one game. They win one game out of 11 after that.
Yeah.
Matt Patricia.
Or one game out of 6, excuse me.
Can I just give Tim, I'm giving Jeremy a one-person standing ovation for that name because that was really polite. You didn't have to be, Jeremy. Well done, sir.
It's either that or the broken pencil boy, because if I ever met him, that's what I was doing, is breaking that pencil while it was still behind his ear.
Look, and I think not knowing a lot about Patricia, but hearing fans as yourselves talk about him, I think it's all justified and very well said, sir. So again, a one-person standing ovation.
I've often said I will call it the Quinn Trasha era because those guys could develop players about as well as they could do the old Polaroid film. They'd forget to dip it in the lacquer.
Shake it, it's not working. Yeah. Although I am not upset that our coaching staff has changed, except Pete Carroll. But Mike McDonald, I'm sorry, Tim, I've just got to say this. Mike McDonald is my dorky brother in about 10 years. I'm just saying. Oh, no, actually.
Talking about the guy for the Dolphins?
Sorry. No, the Ravens coordinator that was now our head coach.
Oh, the one that came from went from the Ravens as linebacker coach to the defensive coordinator to Michigan, back to the Ravens.
Hang on, yeah, that one.
Catch up there, Megan.
Jeremy, yeah.
Because I'm a Wolverine fan too. Or you kick a dingo. Yeah.
Granddad's a kick a dingo and it'll rip your leg off, and then the drop bear will drop out of the tree on your head. So, we got 50
Dingoes are only slightly smaller than a hyena. I doubt you kick a dingo. You might hit him with your car and survive, but you're not going to kick him and survive.
We've got Granddad's. I don't know if you know anything about Australian wildlife. We've got 50,000 things that'll kill you the moment you set 1 foot out your front door.
Including lots of crocodiles.
And that's not including when you actually go. I'm talking about living in the city there, Granddad's, not when you go into the bush, okay? Just saying. But yeah.
The rats of ginormous size.
Hey, Jeremy, I don't know if you heard, we've got these cuddly little bears that you think are teddy bears, just as cute, but they will rip your eyes out and take your face off.
Are you talking about those little red koalas that they got, or red pandas, or whatever they are?
Mike McDonald and the Doobie Brothers keep it. I would like to hand Granddad's a shovel so he can continue digging the hole for himself. Keep digging, my son.
Oh, boy.
But it's great to meet you, Jim.
I figured I'd hop in because it's way easier to talk than type.
Yeah, exactly. I was kind of hoping you were, but
I was hoping you were when I put in the hey, let's go ahead and
let's go ahead and end this 5 hours ago.
There's a way he wanted you to read that because I occasionally sing that song. That's the Lions fight song.
It's the Lions theme song, and I love all theme songs except the Lions. No disrespect, only because it's roar, roar, roar. And as I say, Tim, I am 12, hear me roar. But no. 68,000 at Lumen to blow out eardrums and throats, gentlemen. But no, it's
coming from the woman that says inside voice. But yet you're 12. Yet you're 12. Isn't that kind of contradictory?
No, because I'm a December baby, so I am a true 12.
I know, but you want my inside voice, but because it's kind of contradictory for what the 12 stand for? The noise.
Yes,
wow,
he's right. The 12th
Tim
man
is getting clever, Jeremy, but yes. To fill you in, Jeremy, I was in Seattle for a game a couple of years ago, and I had earplugs in my pocket. But by the time I remembered they were there, my hearing was gone. I did not get it back for 3 weeks. So, yes. No,
that happens at some games.
Okay, Tim, this will be one time you can use your outside voice. Jeremy, cover your ears. This will get loud.
I'm good.
You okay?
Yep. Yeah, I did this. I pulled the speakers away from my ears.
Wow. Tim, just sorry to break it to you, brother, but with a roar like that, you'll never be a 12. Oh, wow. Jeremy. Just looked up like, what the hell?
You're talking? What? I can't hear anything. What?
I remember when on Free for All Friday, I did that. Shocked everybody. Were you on that show? I think you were. It's like Val's like eyes just went. And we used to have,
Lord, would you please give Jeremy some warning so we can, because I swear Jeremy just. Jeremy looked down and he looked up like, oh my God, what was that? But, yeah.
I'm used to it. Trust me. This isn't my first rodeo on Tim's show.
Oh, okay. No, but just the look on your face, Jeremy, was like, what? Sorry. I'm not laughing at you, Jeremy. I am laughing purely at
you kind of withdraw within yourself.
This is just.
You just withdraw in yourself and you let it happen. You let it reverberate in there till it goes back out, because otherwise you won't hear.
I was going to say it's still bouncing. Difference between you and me, Jeremy, is you've got something for it to bounce off between your ears. Me, it's the Grand Canyon in me.
No, that's okay.
Well, you said
guys,
I would never make it 12. I had to go ahead and do it.
You were the 18th defense overall. That's where you got 18 from.
That's where I'm getting 18 from. Right. Okay. No, but thank you for breaking that down.
That's talking about rushing yards against, passing yards against, and scoring. You averaged out to 18th defense overall.
Right. Yeah, right.
That being said, we won 12 games with the 20th defense, and I'm happy with that because that's right in line with what I said I wanted each year for improvement. We were 32nd our first year under Dan Campbell and company, right? And then we went to 27th, and now we went to 20th. So, and it's not, and as much as I hate to say it, and I know Tim hates me saying it, it's not due to coaching. It's because the talent's gotten better.
Yeah, and to be honest, Jeremy, with our new coach, I'm expecting that kind of thing this year, this coming year. And now, if it continues in 5 years' time, that's when I have a problem with it. But as long as you said you take Anthony, I know Anthony, but as long as you're taking steps to improve, I don't care if you improve by 1 spot or 15, as long as you're not going backwards. And that's a great point. But I know a lot of 12s that unless we go to the Super Bowl this year, Jeremy, they're not going to be happy, you know.
And I was a realistic fan, and Tim asked me this right when we hired Dan Campbell. And I said, we might have a shot at the Super Bowl in 2024, but I think 2025 is the realistic year. Because there's too many holes.
Yeah.
There's too many holes on this team to take it from what it was in 2021 to the Super Bowl in 3 years later.
If I could have a perfect scenario for a Super Bowl run for Seattle, I would love it to be 2026. Not going to happen, but because 2026 is the 50th anniversary of the team coming into the comp. Now, as I said to Tim, I don't know if you heard, Jeremy, 3 to 5 years with the new coach, because year one, he's coming in, getting things
gutting
organized.
The roster, getting rid of players he don't like, and all that stuff.
Yep. 2 is consolidating what he did the first year. 3, you might start doing it, but 5, I personally think I could be wrong.
The only thing that's going to help you is, don't you still have some Russell Wilson picks this year?
Only one. We only have 70.
But that helps. That helps.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, anything in the first 3 rounds, you want starter or at least good role players in the first 3 rounds.
My friend Brandon said that, but I'm just still so annoyed that we lost the 2nd round pick with Leonard Williams. That was unforgivable for me, because I've never really rated Williams. He's got 1 more year to prove me wrong, but that 2nd round pick was just unforgivable. But that's a rant, Jeremy, for another time.
I thought drafting Jack Charbonneau, who's the exact same runner as K9, was kind of idiotic. They're the exact same runner. They're the exact same runner. Between the tackles, they're not a burn a guy around the corner. They break a lot of tackles.
Sorry, Jeremy, I'm with you.
I think it would have been better. Truthfully, behind your old line, Devin Ashane would have been better.
I have heard that. I wasn't. I'm not totally convinced, but I don't think you're wrong. If that makes sense, I would need to
because you guys need that speed option. You guys got rid of all the guys with speed that year, and then you draft a guy that's the exact same power runner between the tackles. That's what I was getting at. Neither one are great at receiving the ball. Neither one are great at getting around the corner to the outside edge. They usually get hit within the first 3 yards.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
See, like when you watch the Lions, you can see the difference between Gibbs and Montgomery. Montgomery takes him a second to get going. Once he's going, he's fine. But he's that power guy between the tackles, whereas Gibbs is that shifty guy and also has the speed to get around the corner.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think of it that way, but I see what you mean, and that
called
does make
complementary football, not the same football.
Oh, okay, I like that. Again, hadn't heard that. Yeah, yeah.
I study the game a lot because that's how I got into the writing and everything else.
Yeah, no, you can absolutely tell you're a student of the game, Jeremy. I love it. We only really got like full seasons here when we got cable TV, which was in the early 2000s. So I consider myself a student and always want to learn from people like yourself, Tim, other teams. But I'm 4 months, literally exactly 4 months younger than the Seahawks. But I never saw the Seahawks till recently because we would only get the Super Bowl. And when I was a kid, it was all 49ers. Don't say a word, Timothy.
So I got a good trivia question for you because neither one of our teams is the only hint you get.
Okay.
What team or teams are tied with the most losses in the Super Bowl era right now?
As it stands now?
As it stands right now.
I was going to say Seattle, but that's...
Nope. I just said neither one of our teams
Yeah,
are it.
no, I just realised you said. Grandizer, I'll learn that when you learn the phrase "Go Hawks, Seahawks forever," and "We are 12, hear us roar." You do that for me, and I will learn that.
I think Grandizer's in Seattle.
Grandizer is going to get my 2 bad ankles in the general vicinity of his sit down, what my nephew calls his backside.
So in other words, she's going to kick your arse up over your shoulders, Grandizer.
Well, Jeremy, thank you, sir. That's giving me way too much credit because I have 2 very bad ankles. But I tell you what, if you want to kick one side of his butt over one shoulder and Tim do the other.
Well, he's a Lions fan. We can't do that for you.
Well, I'm sure with enough financial inducements you can.
Okay, yeah, possibly.
Oh, by that, yeah.
So, anyways, let me tell you who the number that they have of playoff losses in the Super Bowl era is 31. And believe it or not, it's not the Browns, it's not the Bills, it's not the Lions, it's not the Seahawks, it's not the Steelers.
Cowboys?
It's America's team, the Cowboys, and the Minnesota Vikings.
Wow.
31 playoff losses in the Super Bowl era.
Wow. I can understand. Wow. 31 for the Skull Army.
Oh, think about it. They lost 4 Super Bowls straight. There's 4 of them right there.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, they've made it everywhere but the NFC Championship game.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep. So keep on losing. That is what I say Skull means all the time.
Keep on losing. No, Skull, well, down here, to skull means to drink your beer in one mouthful. Maybe that's what
I know what it is.
Maybe that's what they're doing when they play.
Most Vikings fans don't even know this, what that means. So I told them it's an acronym. It means so keep on losing.
I like that. Wow. Jeremy, may I borrow that for me to troll some of my Vikings friends?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I just thought I would ask before I do that.
Yeah. Because any of my little colloquialisms or Jeremyisms, as my publisher likes to call it, you can use them all you want.
Oh, thank you. I will give full credit. I will give credit where credit is due, of course, sir.
Just like when I've had fans of other teams come in and say something completely stupid about our team, I've always looked at them and I've said, that makes about as much sense as going to wipe your arse and then take the crap.
I actually know people who do that. I will neither confirm or deny. I will neither confirm or deny that I am one before Tim does or Grandizer does in the chat. But Yeah. Of course, the Vikes did lose those 4 in a row. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure
Okay.
did.
Yeah, I like. Okay, the only reason I follow the Vikes is because Kevin O'Connell, their coach, is kind of cute. Well, wow, was that outside voice
Wow!
again?
Wow!
By Tim's reaction, Jeremy, that was my outside voice. Should have been in the head voice, was it?
Oh, that was
No,
great. I love it.
you can say.
I do like Kevin O'Connell. Okay. But yeah, they don't have a
You
good
know,
run.
what do you guys think about that trade between the Steelers and Chicago? Justin Fields for a bag of chips, half eaten, and it
No,
could
it's three
equal a
quarters.
full. No, it's half
Three
eaten
quarters.
because it could equal a full bag of chips if he plays 51%
Oh,
of the snaps.
well, all I will say is that there was talk a couple, 2 or 3 days ago that Fields was coming to Seattle. Dodged a great big bullet there. Is
Yes.
what I'm saying.
Things I trust more than Justin Fields to read a defense. Number one is Stevie Wonder's driving skills.
Stevie Wonder skydiving skills, I would add to that. I'm just saying.
No.
No,
Don't you
driving
know
skills,
Stevie
I like
Wonder's
that.
blind, right? Stevie
Yes, of
Wonder's
course.
blind, so I trust his
Yeah,
driving skills
yeah,
more than
yeah,
Justin
no, good
Fields to
point,
read
good
a
point.
defense.
Yeah,
Um,
no, good point.
the ability
Number
for
2.
Helen Keller to hear me yelling at her,
Yeah, fair. Harsh,
I trust that more.
fair. Harsh, but fair.
And that Joey Harrington could be a better quarterback with that offense than Justin Fields. I'd trust that more. He could at least read a defense. He just couldn't put the ball back there.
Oh, can I just again give you a one person standing ovation, Justin?
Sure.
Again, a small round of applause from Australia to you, sir.
Yeah, think about it. Ritter and Howell are worth more than
I've
Fields.
got one for you, Jeremy.
Okay.
Sam Howell as QB2 in Seattle is worth more than Fields.
I think he is at Seattle now, right? Howell?
Yep.
Isn't that who you guys traded for?
Yep.
You gave a 3rd round pick for him, right?
2 picks.
Or was it a
What
4th?
were they?
A 3rd and a 5th.
3rd and
Is that
5th.
correct?
Yep.
3rd this year, 5th next year, if I remember right. You didn't give both in the same year.
That's right. Yep.
So, I think you guys got a guy that if Geno starts to play like he did last year, you're gold.
Yep.
Sam Howell is not as athletic, and Geno isn't as athletic as he used to be, unless he's facing the Lions. But
yeah, but is it just me? And Jeremy, apologies if it is, but no, I was going to say on 2 bad ankles I could be more athletic. No, the Lions would outrun me from a standing start.
I mean,
2 days
but
before.
I will tell you one thing: Jared Goff is as athletic as a baby giraffe with a broken leg being dragged by a lion.
Before or after being stomped on by a herd of elephants?
No, like I said, it's already got the broken leg.
Oh, sorry. I thought the leg was on the verge of being broken. My bad.
No, it is broken. It is broken. And the one good leg in the back is being dragged by the lion. That's how athletic he is.
Okay, right.
He's not.
That actually paints a very vivid mental picture for me, Jeremy. I like that.
No, I didn't hope that the Lions would trade for Howell or Ritter. We just drafted Hooker last year, who finally got healthy in November enough to be taken off the NFI. I think he's going to be our backup quarterback. I think we might take a flyer on a quarterback either in the 7th round or as a UDFA to fill in that 3rd quarterback spot, just in case.
I really wanted Hendon Hooker in Seattle. I wasn't surprised we didn't get him. I liked him. I really did.
Tim, you were in the chat that show I talked about Hooker last year before Thanksgiving, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Because I put 2 and 2 together before anybody else did. We had just hired JT Barrett, an athletic quarterback, to be the assistant quarterback coach.
Right.
That weekend, Hendon Hooker got hurt. The
Oh,
next week, I was doing my pregame show prior to the Thanksgiving Day game versus the Bills. And I said, you
hmm.
know what? If Hendon Hooker's there in the third round, he'll be a Detroit Lion.
Well, that was like me
Fair
with
enough.
Charles Cross. I, I was scouting, and I'd had a quick look at Cross, but didn't think much of him. And everyone was saying, "Have another look, have another look." We took him. You could have heard me screaming in Detroit, Jeremy. I swear to God, I was turning cartwheels because it was the first prediction I had made. It was the first year I'd watched all 3 games in the draft. I have a signed painting of him on my wall. I wear his jersey all the time. Okay, he's not been that great at the moment. I'm hoping he comes good. But yeah, you just, some players like Cross, like Hookie, you just know. And as Grant says, everyone has their opinions and they're the experts, like Jalen Carter as well, you know.
Well, if they pay enough on the right street, they might be an expert on hookers or grandizer.
Oh, it depends. Now, it could be different in Detroit, Jeremy, but it depends what corner and what lamppost they're under.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
it's usually 6 Mile is the right road in Detroit, Dort Highway
Ah,
in Flint.
I'm
Because
just. Hang on. Whoa. Is this
Oh.
where my fragile little mind asks Jeremy how you know
yeah,
that? Or
because
is that
I
where
made
my
the comment.
fragile
I made the comment as soon as we drafted Hendon Hooker. I said, "Hey, finally, the girls on 6 Mile can wear a Lions jersey they're proud of because it has their occupation on the back."
I'm wondering how you knew that, but then my fragile little 12 brain said, don't ask. For the love of God, don't ask. But I just did and should have been using my inside head voice again. My
I
bad.
I, I do my research well.
If Megan were to pat you on the back, you'd list it on your resume. Well, granddaughter, it's not happening to you ever, but the Jeremy who I've just met and like way more than you, he'd probably, oh, damn, that was, sorry, Jeremy, that was my outside voice
It,
again, but I
that's
do,
okay. That's okay. The
but I do
the
hold
best
you.
the best joke I've told on my show this year is somebody asked me why I bought a throwback black Lions jersey as a
Oh,
Hendon Hooker jersey, and I said because I've never had either in my life.
oh dear. Oh, good Lord above. Jeremy, I've just met you, my friend, and we are going to get along beautifully.
I, I just I just I just like being funny. Life's too damn short, and
Absolutely.
I'm born without a filter. I've used some very flavored metaphors on Tim's show before.
Hey, Jeremy, he keeps us both coming back, so he must be okay with it, right?
He is. He is. Well, there's a reason why it's late night and probably an over 18 show just like mine.
Well, anytime, hey, listen, anytime, as my father, now sadly deceased, used to say, a Catholic mind is a terrible thing to waste. That's
And
all I'm saying. And I
so is a dirty vocabulary.
amen to that, brother. No, as I said, Jeremy, we've only just met formally right now and love you to death already, mate. We are going to get along
And
brilliantly.
I seriously wasn't trying to trash talk. I was actually
No,
just talking football.
and I reread it and it's like, whoa, enough. He's bringing facts to you. He's not trash talking. So I took it completely the wrong way. So my apologies for that, Jeremy.
Yeah. I don't do a lot of the trash talking. I let the facts that I know speak for itself. But what all I heard was you say, "What was it like watching the Super Bowl?" And that's when I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
gloves are coming off."
And no, the way I look at it, Jeremy, is if I'm going to trash talk you, I've got to expect it back. And I am not, nor I hope never be one of these precious princesses that can't deal. Like, give you a mouthful and then get offended. No.
Oh yeah,
You know,
no, I
it
don't take
doesn't work.
offense either. My skin's a little thicker than that.
Well,
I'm in an NFC. I do a show where occasionally we do our takes into an NFC North group, and it doesn't matter what team you're a fan of. You're 75% wrong, so we call it home of the bad takes.
I love it. Drop me a link. I will. No. Well, it's up to
Well,
you if you drop
the name that you saw there, that's how you find me on YouTube.
Oh,
That's the
okay,
name of my YouTube channel.
kneecap. All right, I will look you up.
Kneecap biting with
No,
the Motor City Lions. I do a
well,
Lions
hey,
talk
I
show
just
11 a.m. every morning, and I do a 9 p.m. evening show every Monday, Wednesday,
so
Friday.
sorry, Jeremy. I have to ask you the kneecap biting. That's the Dan
Mm-hmm.
Campbell reference, which I thought. I gave Dan a one man because kneecap biting as a hockey fan means you are kneecapping someone with a hockey stick.
Reminds you of something that Bobby Orr would have done back in the day,
Yes. Oh
or
yeah.
Terry Sauertruck.
I have heard of in Australia, an ankle biter is a small child, and that's what when I read it, I'm like,
or a rabid Chihuahua.
Or oh, you mean a kick me dog? A kick me dog?
Yes, the kick me dogs.
Because
Those
it
are
bites you
ankle
on the
biters
ankle
too.
and you kick it.
Yeah.
Kick it. Yeah. So as soon as I saw the name, I'm like, oh, that's got to be the Dan Campbell quote, which was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
So I started my Facebook page, Motor City Kneecap Biters, and I was going to be kneecap biting with the Detroit Lions, but a couple of pages got shut down for having Detroit Lions in the name on YouTube and demonetized. So I nipped it in the bud and made it Motor City Lions immediately.
Well, everyone knows the Motor City's Detroit, so it's how you get around it. And so, how do you say Detroit without saying Detroit?
Motor City, yeah.
Motor City, 100%.
That or Zero Super Bowl Town.
I was not going there.
I will. I will. We've had zero. 59 is coming up. It's got to be our turn eventually. That's all I got to say.
Listen, I would rather you guys win, in all honesty, hand on my heart, would rather
yes, sir, Grandizer.
Have you win the Super Bowl than the Cowboys. I'm just putting that on the record because
hey, I got a good one for you though. Do you realize that the Lions have been to more NFC championship games than the Cowboys this century?
Somebody had said that to me, but I didn't actually think it was true. But taking from your mouth, I would believe that.
Woohoo! Grandizer just subbed again. You were subbed. If you don't,
Jeremy, I can't have Grandizer subbing to you without doing the same. I just cannot let this happen. Let me grab your name and go and no, Grand, you're not. No, just good God, no. That is not
well, anyways,
allowed.
Grandizer, you were subbed, but YouTube has this algorithm that if you don't enter a chat of a show you're subbed in every so often, they'll remove you from the sub list. So all you gotta do is go in there once every couple of months. That's why you lose some of the shows you've been subbed to. You have to at least go and watch one and make a comment on it.
I was wondering that because a lot of my friends were saying they were losing subs and couldn't work out why.
And that's exactly why. I think it's about every 6 months if they don't come in and at least like or make a chat and be active in your channel, they'll get removed.
Hey, Grandizer, guess what, Sunshine? Just did. And you can't tell me what to do because I was doing
it anyway. She was doing it anyway because you said you subbed, and she was like, "Oh no, I can't just let him do it. I gotta do it."
He's not getting in there. We have to be in there to give him some genius level amounts of smack.
Yep. And just so you know, any show you don't catch live, just go back and watch one and put a comment in, and that'll stop it from happening. Because that's what I have to do for everybody that I sub to. Because when I get off of here, I'm gonna go look at everybody that subbed to me tonight, and I'm gonna sub to them because that's only right.
Oh no! Can I just warn you, Jeremy, that if you sub to my channel, you're more than welcome to. I won't stop you, but it's a lot of Seattle.
Okay, that's fine. Hey, guess what? I watch other podcasts from other teams to find out what fans are thinking there. because I
You
love
do
listening
not.
to him. Yes, I do.
I haven't got anything live like this yet. I'm still trying to get some things in place, but
Hey, it's real. It's not as hard as you think it is. As
no,
you
but
see,
I have.
I'm just sitting on a recliner in my living room. I got two nice little lights on me just to brighten it up so I don't look so pasty.
No, I have severe anxiety, so that's kind of what's stopping me at the moment. But we'll get there. We'll get there. But no, I just subbed because Grandizer was not out subbing me, Jeremy.
I gotcha. I gotcha. I knew what you meant as soon as you were saying it. But
Good God,
I
Grandizer.
usually live stream the draft myself. I love doing it, and I usually have
Yeah,
anywhere from 4 to 5 guests, and we talk about it. Uh, I think it was not this past year because this past year there were so many trades. With Brad
it was
Holmes
so hard. Yeah.
was leading the charge with 8 draft day trades between the 3 days. I sat there. I said, Brad Holmes made more trades than a coked up New York Stock Exchange broker.
In the 80s, you should have answered.
Yes, yeah, doesn't matter. 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2020s. He's making more than all of them.
I would. Well, I'm up for 3 days.
I had my 1000th show already, Grandizer. I didn't hit 1K yet. David Pike was at 1K with the Detroit Lions Forum, but guess what? That used to be a column in the USA Today back in 1978 in its inception, because anytime you were in wherever it was printed, the local team had Detroit Lions Forum, Detroit Tigers Forum, Detroit Red Wings Forum, and that's where the opinion editorials
please tell me
would
you're
be.
not a Red Wings fan. Sorry, Jeremy, did you say the naughty R word, Red Wings?
Yes, I did. I did.
Red Wings. I'm a Red Wings fan too.
Hey, I'm a homer. I admit it. I am, and I'm a Michigan Wolverine fan too.
Oh well, crap! You know that sub I just subbed to you.
You're gonna take it off. I guess.
As a USC fan and a Seattle Kraken and Toronto Maple Leafs fan, I'm just gonna go and take that back.
Hey, I don't talk hockey on my channel.
Oh, okay. Well,
I promise. There's no hockey talk. Lions, Tigers, and it's not the Pistons anymore. They've been so bad. I call them the Pistons.
Fair. I might try to drop into your chat for the draft, Jeremy. Because of the time differences, I'm awake for 3 days, hepped up on coffee, and streaming to Seattle with over 1,200 in our chat. I hope to get there. I won't make any promises to say I will be, but I will definitely catch it on replay if I don't.
I can say during the 2022 draft, the second day in rounds 2 and 3, I was guessing who was coming out. And other than having to go to the bathroom and miss about 5 picks, the ones that I made, I only missed 9 through both rounds of the draft combined.
Oh, wow. I'm trying to think. Last year, I think I hit 5 for Seattle. 6.
I'm talking about for every team in the NFL.
Oh, wow. I need to learn from you, Jeremy, because I've mainly...
what I do is I go onto those mock draft simulators, and they always tell you what the team needs are, but I wait till like the week before the draft. And then I look at tendencies. I do the tendencies thing that they did in college, what's a fit and all that stuff, and I just put a list together. But I've been right for the top 10, 8 out of 10, 3 years in a row.
When you guys draft, and I'm genuinely asking this, I'm not trying to be funny when I ask this, we do BPA, best player available. Is that what the Lions are doing? Or like, how do you...
Brad Holmes actually addressed this. He doesn't just do best player available. He also does best fit available. It's a combination of both.
Okay.
He will let a player drop that has more talent if they're not a team fit or a chemistry fit. So that's why they go to these pro days, and they don't just talk to the player, they talk to his teammates.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Again, that makes sense because for years, and I told Tim that, before the last couple of years when we had Denver's picks, we would just sit there on stream watching, going, "What the beep?" Because I don't want to.
Yeah, the only pick I questioned last year for the Seahawks was Zach Charbonnet. Other than that, I thought they had a good draft.
What did you think of Jackson Smith-Njigba? I love that guy, by the way. But
he was a great receiver. He was the best receiver out of Ohio State. He just had an injury concern. That's why he fell to the late
yeah,
first round. Otherwise,
yeah.
if he'd have been healthy and played, he probably would have been picked ahead of Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave.
Oh, you think it would have been that? Oh,
I think
okay.
he'd have been
over Olave.
Yeah, I think he'd have been better than both of them, and I think he'd have been picked before him if he'd have been able to be healthy.
Yeah, the injury concern, I will say, did concern me.
But at the same time, you had Tyler Lockett and you got DK Metcalf. He doesn't have to be the number one guy.
Yeah,
he's drafted
true.
to be your slot and occasionally your Y receiver instead of the Z. Because your X receiver is 100% DK Metcalf, no matter what anybody says. He's your number one.
No, I love DK. I will not stand for DK slander. And the reason I had to leave our other chat was because trade DK. Really? For what?
Oh, because he him-hawed to get his extension that one year, and
yeah,
everybody got hurt.
Oh, and because he changes his hair more than I change my underwear. Well, change your undies more.
No, that sounds like they need to wash their butt and change their underwear more, right? Doesn't that sound like it to you?
Either that or take the underwear off and put the big boy diaper on. I don't care. But no, DK stays.
Oh,
DK
come on. You don't want them to do that because then they always smell like it depends.
Okay, bad joke, Jeremy.
But it depends on what. And who's... No, Jeremy, don't.
Depends on the brand of adult diaper.
Yeah, I know what depends are, but I'm saying depends on what. That's a whole thing. Tim's like, I wanted to get to bed 5 hours ago. You do your own jokes.
Oh, we always have fun. But you know what's funny is as funny and as crude as I am, at the end of every single one of my shows, I say the same thing, and I want to say it before I hop off. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. It's the only way we're going to make the world a better place. It starts in here. You have to make the decision to be that better person before you ever do anything else in your day.
I will add to that. Jim Henson, my great hero, the Muppet creator, said, I want to leave the world when I leave the world, I want to leave it slightly better than when I came into it. And that's all I want to do. But great to meet you, Jeremy.
Yeah. And he did. Jim Henson is amazing. But to answer your question, Grandizer, yes, the Michigan Panthers are in what's now known as the UFL because the USFL and the XFL has combined.
Exactly.
It is now a 32-team league.
No, it's not.
32.
No, it's
or 24.
No, 24, and Seattle didn't get a team, I don't think.
They cap only 4 or 5 teams from the original. They cut
teams too?
They cut teams. That's the thing that I hated about.
They should have let it be big.
Yeah.
They should have let it be big.
They should have let it be big.
They cut Seattle, I think. I think Seattle was one that got cut, I think.
They might have.
Yeah,
I know
Seattle
the Panthers made it because I think I think they took like the ones that were the playoffs and the ones that just missed it from each side. Is that what you're saying they did?
I
into like a 10, 12 team league or something?
Yeah, it's 10-team league. 5 from each.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
I know why. I do know why they did it. Because if you take the sponsorship money from the UFL and the sponsorship money from the XFL, they can support the 10 teams together.
Oh, okay. So it was a business decision, basically.
Yeah. 100% was a business. Easy for me to say.
It's late.
Business decision.
Decision.
But with The Rock being the main shareholder with his ex-wife, which is crazy of the XFL, and how they made that work.
It's The Rock. You're going to say no to The Rock, Jeremy? take your life in your hands doing
he
so,
can't say
sir.
no to her. No, I'm saying it's more he can't say no to her.
Fair point. But I have just realised it's 6:45 down here, which is way past my dinner time, and I need to go and get some food. So, Jeremy, a pleasure to
just so
meet
you
you.
know, it's 3 a.m. here, and my shows are let's see, 7.5 hours here as my morning show.
So what the heck are you doing still here, sir? I've appreciated your time and your generosity.
I was awake.
Yeah.
I was just awake. It's my day off, and I was staying up late doing housework and stuff. And saw my buddy Tim was on. I was like, I got to go on YouTube.
It's like I don't really have to, but it's Tim, and who needs sleep when Tim's on?
I want to keep that subscription active.
Ask me how I know when he did my first live stream with him was at 2 a.m. Australian time, which is like 10 a.m. or whatever. And he's saying, "Oh, it's so early here." I'm like, dude, I have not been to bed to cry me a river.
Yeah, you were on the first No Hold Barred Fridays when I used to do those at 11. It was 11 here, but
11.
It was like
it wasn't 10.
Yeah.
But every time Seattle play a 10 o'clock game, it's a 4 a.m. Monday start. Yay, I love this country. But Jeremy, great to meet you. Look forward to catching one of your streams soon, my friend.
And 9 p.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. My Wednesday show is NFL based. I go for the top 3 stories in the NFL. And right now it's all the moves. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be talking about all the trades that were made over the past week.
Yep, awesome. Well, thank you for letting me know why my friends have. I've got about 400 YouTube channels I need to resubscribe and watch.
Yep. Or the ones that you are current with, just make sure you go there and put a like on it.
I want to watch the one on your channel about the kneecapping or the knee biting thing with Dan Campbell, which was hilarious. So, all right, guys. Good to talk to you.
Right. Sleep well and
have a great night.
Yep.
Yep, you too,
Tim,
boys.
you get to get off here before your wife wakes up. That's a switch.
Yeah, I know. She wakes up. She wakes up less than a half.
Jeremy says that just before I press the button to disconnect. That's a story for the next stream, gentlemen.
Well, the last time I was on with him, we were talking. We lost track of time, and it ended up being 4:30, and his wife's alarm went off. I said, I said, is that an alarm clock in your house?
It's like, what is this time thing, and why have I lost so much of it? I get like that. I have an Xbox too, Jeremy, so I lose days. All right, guys.
And I have a PS4, so I get it.
Hey, Tim, what gaming console are you playing? We got Xbox there.
I don't really play games.
All right, so Jeremy, are we unsubscribing from Tim's chat now because he's not playing games?
No, that's fine.
I mean, I have a PS4, but I never hooked it up.
Wow.
Now wait a minute. That's sacrilege, Tim.
I mean,
Timothy.
I hooked it up one time and then took it. And then I took it over to a friend's house, and it's
Timothy. I've got full name here because I'm the only person that has the brains to get the new Xbox for Call of Duty. Okay, I see what this is.
Mm-hmm.
Hook it up, buy the new version of Madden, and have some fun, Tim.
I already have because my Xbox is literally sitting on my desk, and I got it 2 weeks ago. And I am playing Madden like Coach himself, God rest his soul.
I could even stream that on Twitch since I got Twitch too.
I got Twitch too. No, as opposed to playing last year, Jeremy, playing Madden last year, I actually know what the heck I'm doing this year. So, win-win. Yeah.
Right.
And I've got baseball.
Don't be like the casual fans and turn the salary cap off. Actually learn to work it because you actually learn a lot about the fiscal part of a team. It isn't perfect, but it makes you
it makes you think like the GM to make the moves and cut who you have. I actually I cut Tyler Lockett. I had to for the cap. I kept
Right.
Bobby and
Yeah.
cut Tyler. Maybe it should have been the other
If
way
I
around.
was a Seattle fan, I'd have wanted to keep Bobby too over Tyler
I
Lockett.
absolutely did, but
Yep.
I
Well,
understand why it happened, but it doesn't make it easier to swallow when we
no,
kept letting.
it's kind of like when it was time to trade Stafford. We all,
Mhm.
those of us that liked him, hated to see him go, but those of us that understand football knew it was time.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's what it like when I heard that he'd gone again. I was like, oh, I'm so sad. But then read the contract, and it was like, okay, I don't like it, but it makes sense. Whereas the first time he was cut, the same day Russell got cut, I was like, that's doing him so wrong because it was
Mm-hmm.
the same day Russell got cut. Now, would I have been upset if it was done on a different day? Yeah, of course, it was Bobby. But this makes more sense to me than that first time he got cut, I think.
Right. It's because it actually saved him more money than it would have to cut Lockett. That's
Yes, that's
100% what it
exactly
was.
what it was. Although going to the
Although,
Commanders,
yeah, but they've
that's a
actually made a lot of moves, and that means they're probably taking whoever's left out of the top three between Caleb, Drake May, or Jaden Daniels. That's who they're taking for their quarterback this year. You watch.
actually, Jeremy, just quickly before I go, I know I've said 5 times I'm going Tim, and on the 6th I will. What do you think? Okay, I will preface this by saying I'm a dyed-in-the-wool USC fan wearing the shirt. What do you think of Caleb? Honestly.
I think whoever gets him should really consider letting another quarterback start for a year. I
Yeah,
seen him struggle mightily against top 25 defenses, and all the defenses in the NFL are better than them.
yep, 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 yep. I
So
would not be.
I think if he sat a year and did the Pat Mahomes thing, kind of like what we're doing with Hooker, because he couldn't play the first year, so we're sitting him another year. You know what I mean? That makes
Yep,
more sense.
yep,
Don't
yep.
rush him in. Let him build.
No, where do you think he goes? I pray
I
not to
I I, I
Cardinals.
want. I'm praying. I am thinking he's gonna end up a Bear, and
Yeah,
I think it'll ruin him because he'll have to
I
start
think
right
it will
away because they
too.
had nothing.
Mhm.
But I think the team that would have ruined him quicker would have been the Cardinals. That would have damn nearly killed
Yeah, but
him.
they are not drafting somebody this year. They traded
No,
for
but I'm
guys who.
saying, no, I'm saying, I'm not fond of him going to the Bears, but I think it's inevitable.
Uh,
The only team worse for me would have been the Cards because they would have killed him, in my
put it
opinion.
this
But
put it this way. It's been many coaches, it's been many QBs, and yet we're at 17 games a year, soon to be going to 18, according to everything I'm seeing with the NFL. The Bears have yet to have a 4,000-yard passer in their team's history.
really, I thought
Quarterbacks,
no. I'll
yeah,
take your
the
word
one
for it.
that has the record is Jay Cutler, or as I like to call him, the Gay Butler. And that's 3,873 yards.
Again, I'm being educated by you, Jeremy, and I love it. So I'm not going to argue on
Even
points.
even even Super Bowl player Jim McMahon only had 3,500 yards that year.
Okay. I would have said there would have been somebody else, but again, as I said, I'm not going to argue with you, Jeremy, because I don't honestly know. You do. Okay.
And
Now you realise the Gay Butler is going to be in my head for the rest of the night. God bless you, Jeremy. Your work here is done. Grandizer, yes. More so than the Bears, 100%. Jeremy might disagree.
I kind of like their new coach better. When they had Cliff I fail in the second half of seasons Kingsbury, I knew they were lost. And
Kingsbury.
that's the only thing I worry about. Whatever quarterback goes to Washington, Kingsbury is the offensive coordinator.
Yep. My brother. Sorry, Jerry, why I say that is my brother is a die-hard Cards fan. And when I was in Seattle at the Cards versus Seattle game 2 years ago, he got the I think it was 2:30 a.m. wake-up call to Australia from Seattle. He had to be up at work 4 hours later. I didn't care. I was gloating. I was in Seattle and I was cheering. So, but yeah. All right, Jeremy.
There's a family feud there between teams.
A feud is a little harsh, Timothy. It's more like a vehement disagreement on who is the better team.
Wait. There's no debating that, because Seattle at least has been to the Super Bowl, and maybe the Cards have too, but they have yet in their entire history, and they started out as the Chicago Cardinals in 1896, before it was even the NFL. They have never won a world championship or a Super Bowl.
You want to know what the brilliant thing is, though, Jeremy? Yes, that is 100% true. My brother has a little boy, Oliver, who I adore. He's 4 years old. And whenever he sees me wearing my caps or, a jersey with Blitz the Seahawk, he turns to his father and says 2 words. Those words being, "Go Hawks." His father.
Nice.
I have taught the young one well. The force is strong on the dark side, being a Seahawks fan. But yes, his father's just like, "What are you doing to my child?" Well, teaching him the better team to follow. Like, yeah. And I actually brought him back and blitzed the Seahawks.
So why didn't you teach him? Why didn't you teach him to follow the 49ers there, Megan?
Because he knows a good team when he knows a good team when he sees one.
Nope, they've never. The Cards were in the World Championships and lost in the 1930s.
And the kicker is he also goes for the Cardinals in baseball, but you can't help bad luck. Are you talking the Cardinals in football or the baseball Cardinals?
Football. I'm talking about the football Cardinals.
No, I know you are, Jeremy. I'm asking Grandizer because my brother also goes for the Cards in baseball.
Nope, but anyway, have 0 world championships. But have a great night, everybody.
Yeah, you too, Jeremy.
Load out of the dryer. It was great to meet you, Megan. Grandizer, great to talk to you.
I don't know, Grand. Anyway, good to meet you, Jeremy. Look forward to catching your stream. Tim.
Thank you.
I'm waiting for the word to come to say, but it's not, so I'm out.
Okay. All right. Take care, Megan.
Take care, Grand.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Yep. All right. And thanks everybody in the chat and thank you very much, Grandizer 12, for everything that you do for me. I really appreciate it. Cheers, everybody. Want to thank, of course, Detroit Fan Man, who was in for a while, and we also had the Gaming Gang. Thank you guys. But yeah, I do need to get going. It's almost 4 a.m. here, so thanks everybody. We'll see you guys again. Take care. This is Maniac Tim, and I'm out.